station with the best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
You're listening to Bounding Radio.
Big bang, big fall, Christmas cake, I took it all. Big suit, big lies, now they're done, I'm on the rise. Corporate giants in my sight, came for me, now they bite. Red suits, green cash, burn it down, light the ash. Holiday flames, watch them blaze, I'm the Grinch of your last days. Big bang, big fall, Christmas cake, I took it all. Big suit, big lies, now they're done, I'm on the rise. Big bang, big fall, Christmas cake, I took it all. Big suit, big lies, now they're done, I'm on the rise. Big bang, big fall, Christmas cake, I took it all. Big suit, big lies, now they're done, I'm on the rise. Big bang, big fall, Christmas cake, I took it all. Big suit, big lies, now they're done, I'm on the rise. Deck the halls with shattered pride, they can't run, they can't hide. Tinsel wrap around their throat, I take it all, leave them alone.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Shiny lights, empty halls, glamour fades, nothing calls. Surface deep, hollow show, all display, no soul below. All aesthetic, no soul, empty frames take their toll. Glossy shells, vacant hold. All aesthetic, no soul. You did Bruce like a dog, that's where things start to go wrong. Metropolis ain't your playground, guess who's laughing now? Gave us loser coins, what's the deal? Paid for skins, but got a rotten deal. 4 seasons in, but no one stayed to play. Game over, man, the game's too gay. Patch it up, burn it down, make it free. Nope, rebuild hype, cash us out, then repeat.
Yo, it's time to level up. Get that firepower. We taking it all. Yeah. Boots on the ground, I'm running this race. Brick buster with the knuckles, no time to waste. Through the mushroom fields where the wild things grow. Jumping higher than the clouds, let the energy flow. Never fold, never break. Every step I take, I make the ground quake. Big shell creeping, he's the king of the crawl. But I'm built for the heat, I'm taking it all. Keep pushing through the hills, never back, never fall. It's a battle every step, but I'm taking it all. Fire in my soul, yeah, I'm breaking the walls. No matter what it takes, I'm saving it all.
These kids in here smells like peanut butter and Play-Doh. What's that French boy you lost your pride, handing the reins to those unqualified. Shadows game, yeah, it's looking so weak. Try to rewrite the past, but you messed up the street. Raise a toast to what's burned away. The shadows fell, they couldn't stay. From Yasuke's tale to this messy shame, French boy, you're only yourself to blame. Lazy Canadian kids, what's your game? Burning the brand, dragging the name. French boy studio, you're out of touch. How'd you screw it up this much? Lazy Canadian kids, don't pretend. Breaking what you can't defend. French boy studio, the fans all know your empire's gone, it's a sideshow.
What is happening here? What is happening here? What is happening? What's happening here? What's happening? What's happening here? What's happening here?
Da, 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 da. When the hype runs low, say it's gold, but we see right through. Another story spun if only everyone knew. Hey, the truth's getting out, that you've been selling crap. Oh, we know the games you play. Truth gone missing, washed away. Big talk, but we see the game. It's all for clicks, just the same old fame. Real words, that's what we crave. But honesty's out while the hype gets paid. Push the button, yeah, sell it out for favors. Fingers on the button, truth come with layers. But real proof on nothing's as it seems. Hyped up lies and manufactured dreams. Push the button, let the game be rigged. Dealing in deception till the page is clicked. Sold out stories for that sweet invite. Trade your words for glitter and hype.
We're the ones that did this. We make a change that you just witnessed. Tore down the walls. Now we're in this. We're not your product, not part of your plan. From every screen, from every place, we carved our mark, set the pace. Voices cross oceans, anger went live. A heartbeat of millions kept the fight alive. Let's get down to business. No way you can win this. Hey, you stacked the deck, we tore it apart. Cash can't buy you a beat heart. You bought the lie, sold it for gold. Now the truth breaks through the mold. Let's get down to business. No way you can win this. Hey, there's no way.
A shadow in the mirror, whispers in the night, promises of salvation, but something's not right. They move in silence, wearing trust as their disguise, but beneath the silver lining, I see the blackened skies. They twist the knife, their truth untold. The hand that lifts you is the one that lets you fall. Oh, the kiss of death, it's waiting on your breath. a whisper in the darkness, and it pulls you to the edge. You think you found the answer, but it steals your very soul. The kiss of death, the only thing you'll know. Among the righteous, they claim to fight your fight, but venom fills the promise, turning day into the night. The system's crashing, all their lies begin to bleed. What once was gold and shining is nothing more than greed. Fate twists the knife, their truth untold. The hand that lifts you is the one that lets you fall. Oh, the kiss of death, it's waiting on your breath. A whisper in the darkness, and it pulls you to the edge. You think you found the answer, but it steals your very soul. The kiss of death, the only thing you'll know. Kiss of death, takes your breath, your final breath. Kiss of death, it's all you'll know.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
You're listening to Bounding Radio.
Back in the day, we had that flow. No filters, no lines, we let it show. Now cover and the curves, babe, what's the deal? Why sensibles that ain't even real? Polygon hits, sell shade, play, blocking all the fun, babe, why you astray? No more moves, no love on the scene. Took the romance out, you know what I mean. Oh, let me see the curve, see the curve. Sense of this, sense of that. What's the harm in all of that? Oh, let me see the curve, see the curves. Polygons and pixels, baby, bringing it back. Oh, let me see the curve, see the curves. What's the harm in shades, baby? Why it gotta change? Oh, let me see the curve, see the curves. Took the fun out the game, now it's all so tame.
The pull, I can't resist. Born of fury, clenching fists. I'll make them kneel, I'll watch them pay. You'll feel the monster I became today. The embers fall and whispers in the fading light. The sun has set on our forgotten fights. They spoke with silver tongues, hearts carved from stone. And in the silence, I've walked alone. You run, but I'm faster. You'll scream, but I'm your disaster. In the darkness, I'll be your guide. Your sins are too deep to hide. Into the night, I rise with the wind. Born of the fire where darkness begins. You cannot run, you cannot hide. I am the shadow you'll face tonight. In silence I fly,
my wings will break. Fear the call before I awake. Tako's cry will tear through the sky, and from your ashes you'll see me rise. I have shed my name, I have shed my skin. The hawk flies where the shadows begin. No mercy left, no prayers to say. You'll taste the night where I hold sway. Into the night, I rise with the wind. Born of the fire where darkness begins. You cannot run, you cannot hide. I am the shadow you'll face tonight. In silence I fly, my wings will break. Fear the call before I awake. Tako's cry will tear through the sky, and from your ashes you'll see me rise. From the ashes, wings of black fire, you'll tremble beneath the weight of desire. In silence I saw, in darkness I reign. Tako's revenge will be your pain. I watched the flames rise, watched the truth decay. They buried our honor, sold our lives away. They called it peace, but the blood still stains. I was silent then, but now it's time to break the chains. Break the chains. Break the chains. Break the chains. In the shadows where you falter, choices that you make, they hide. I stand and watch from distant silence as the wheels of fate unwind. No hand of mine will rise against you, but karma's path is set in stone. Every step you take will echo in a future you've outgrown. Justice waits, unseen, unbending. Time will bring its weight to bear. Your reckoning, it comes unending, but my hands remain in there. Justice never wavers, no soul escapes its grasp. Fate's cold hand will tighten and the wheel will turn at last. We make kind choices, but time will write the end. Karma rises ruthless, no wrong it will defend. Justice never falters, it waits with sharpened breath. Fate's eyes always watching, a judge beyond our death. We can shape our moments, but destiny will reign. Karma strikes with thunder to balance all the pain. This scene is you took gold. Jimmy, your game was too bold. Took their stuff, now it's a mess. Now you got some lawsuits to address. He's flexing, stressing, thinking he's on top of the scene. But those stolen panties are kinda rogue, if you know what I mean. Woo! You thought you could hide it, but now it's all clear. Stole some briefs, broke some bones, now it's time to get on. Going down, it's your time to pay. Jimmy, you're in the hot seat today. Hey, girls down, where's my stuff? Yeah. Boys saying that's enough. Jimmy, it's getting rough. Is this lawsuit's calling your bluff? Can't hide, no, can't fake it. Your scandals, we won't take it. It's getting real scuzzy, can't shake it. Now the world's ready to break it. Come on, Jimmy, was it worth it? Come on, Jimmy, was it worth it? This YouTube king's gone too far. Jimmy thought he's a star. Grab some briefs, grab some bras. Now he's facing legal scars. He's flexing, messing, thought he had it locked. But now he's sweating, cause he's getting rocked.
It's too hot for a clothes on. Underwear vanishing, it's a crazy plan. It's too hot. And his friends pees while he's sitting down. It's too hot. Say my name, this thing is out of hand. It's too hot. Court's in session, it's going down. Jimmy, you knew this was wrong. Hey, girl, down, where's my stuff? Yeah. Boy saying that's enough. Jimmy, it's getting rough. Is this lawsuit's calling your bluff? Can't hide, no, can't fake it. Your scandals, we won't take it. It's getting real funky, can't shake it. Now the world's ready to break it. Don't believe what you see, watch out. Don't believe what you see, watch out. You thought you won it all, but now you're gonna fall. Things all wild, but we see it all. MrBeast, you're about to crawl. Hey, girl, shout, where's my stuff? Boy saying that's enough. Jimmy, it's getting rough, cause there's lawsuits calling your bluff. Can't hide, no, can't fake it. Your scandals, we won't take it. It's getting real funky, can't shake it. Now the world's ready to break it. You had the crown, thought you never slip. Counted your winnings before the trip. But guess what? You're running out of time. That empire's cracked and you're past your prime. Now you're asking what went wrong, like it wasn't you all along. The writing's right there on the wall, but no, go on, ignore the call. Oh, you're scrambling for a reason, like it's some kind of crime. Hey buddy, take a good look. It's been failing for some time. Hey buddy, take a good look. It's been failing for some time. You'll never see it falling, falling. You keep on stalling, stalling. Too late to play it cool, too late to bend the rules. You'll never see it falling, falling. Blind while they're calling, calling. Outlaws miss the beat. Shadows on full retreat. You bet it all on that outlaw game, but couldn't even light the flame. Delays on delays, but you still act bold. The hype's gone stale and cold. Strikes are brewing, ticking clocks. You're sweating while they watch the stocks. Just keep pretending everything's fine. Oh wait, now you're out of time. You can push it back again, but we're all in on the joke. You thought you'd ride the wave forever, but now you're going broke. You'll never see it falling, falling. You keep on stalling, stalling. Too late to play it cool, too late to bend the rules. You'll never see it falling, falling. Blind while they're calling, calling, calling. Outlaws miss the beat. Shadows on full retreat, full retreat. Hey buddy, it's too late to escape. Too late to escape. Too late to escape. Oh, you thought they'd wait around while you're flopping all around, but now the curtain's dropping down, and buddy, here comes the ground. You'll never see it falling, falling. You keep on stalling, stalling. Too late to play it cool, too late to bend the rules. You'll never see it falling, falling. Blind while they're calling, calling. Outlaws miss the beat. Shadows on full retreat, full retreat. You'll never see it, never see it.
In shadows you retreat, but the world is on its feet. Try to spin your lies, but the sun's too bright to beat. Dressed up history like a mask you wear, but the past is roaring louder as you fade into the air. Every story carved in stone, every legend we've been shown. Now you're turning away, oh yeah, but you can't outrun the day. You can keep running, the truth is coming. There's no stopping it, no. Rising fire, feel the hearts inspire. You can't hide away, no. But you can keep running, but the truth is coming. There's no stopping it, no. Rising fire, feel the hearts inspire. You can't hide away, no. All the memories that remain in the land of rising flame. Now you're falling apart, oh yeah, as we call out your stupid mark. Faking all the moves like you own the floor, but we see through every shuffle, and baby you're not dancing anymore. Every tale you try to twist, every moment that you miss, now you're backing away, oh babe, but the light won't fade away. You can keep running, but the truth is coming. There's no stopping it, no. Rising fire, feel the hearts inspired. You can't hide away, no. But the truth is coming. There's no stopping it, no. Rising fire, feel the hearts inspired. You can't hide away. No. All the stories that you blend can't outrun what's round the bend. Now you're losing your cool, oh yeah. While we stand and rise again, we rise again. You can keep running, but the truth is coming. There's no stopping it, no. Rising fire, feel the hearts inspired. You can't hide away, no. The winds are calling from Fujiyama, way on high, and the voices of 1,000 past reach out across all time. There's no escape from the path you paint. It's all crashing down as Japan takes the stage and has their say. You can keep running, but the truth is coming. There's no stopping it, no. Rising fire, feel the hearts inspire. You can't hide away, no. Now you're running, but there's nowhere left to go. Rising, rising. We're the story that the world will always know. The truth is rising.
Muted. How about that? Yeah, that went on for a really long time. How about that? Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome aboard. Jacob is eating a sandwich made out of Santa, apparently.
It probably
First
tastes
of
very
all,
sweet.
it's ham, turkey, bacon, pepperoni, olives, cheese, lettuce, pepper, and a little touch of Caesar dressing. Thank you very much.
That sounds
All
very
right.
fattening.
Well, it sounds like Christmas. That's right. It's a Christmas sandwich.
I mean, it's
Since it's-
basically like a handful of like Lay's chips away from being like a Scooby-Doo sandwich.
Oh, I don't. Oh, right, Scooby Doo. Right. I thought that was a euphemism for like something else, but no, you're right. It's that, not the other thing. But it is the Christmas Eve, and we were requested by the audience to be live tonight, so I figured we would do this until Jacob's show, and I assume you're doing the bar room at 9 p.m. That's right.
Correct.
Right. So what we'll do is we'll have a raid, right? You've heard of those before. So we'll send our audience over into the Barroom podcast and presumably start new topics there, or perhaps pick up where we leave off from here. By the way, this won't be 01 or Tokyo Happy Hours, it's just Christmas. So whatever comes up, comes up. Nerdigans has provided us with a huge array of anime announcements. We also have a whole team for that Isekai Red Ranger. So
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff, and Sanda, which is a Christmas manga anime adaptation, the trailer dropped for that. Perfect timing, right?
Yeah.
And you're echoing, by the way. I don't know if you
am,
realize that.
Oh.
No, he's
I
just
had
yelling
that
at us from the state of Maine.
Sorry, I forgot I had that on from like 4 hours ago when I was making.
But by the way, let's address this. I would like to address this here for a second. Nerdigans,
Yes.
you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Well, I just want to ask you this question. You have been wearing sweaters for several weeks
Yes.
under the guise that, oh, I'm cold because I live in California. It's 55 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And on the one day of the year when it would actually be permittable to wear a sweater, you're wearing a Packers jersey.
Well, I'm wearing a Packer shirt. Yes, my team won and got into the playoffs, and they had a shutout too, which was amazing. So why not?
First of all, the Saints being utter trash has nothing to do with the topic at hand, but they are garbage. Second of all, it's like you don't have a Christmas sweater somewhere. There's nothing with like a snowman or like a cat. I figured you have at least a few of them with cats.
No, I don't. And I didn't want to go find my Hanukkah sweater. And actually, I'm pretty warm right now.
Jacob, wouldn't that be kind of weird? That's kind of like being a Packers fan and running around with a Redskins jersey on,
Yeah,
weird, right?
It's a good thing we don't know anyone like that.
Where's your Christmas sweatshirt? Do you know what's good for you? Come on, man.
I mean, I'm a woman, and I'm being told that I need to dress modestly by men constantly, especially lately. Oh God, I'm telling you, this has been a mask off moment by a lot of people that claim they were anti-censorship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a whole thing on social media right now about a former host of the Daily Wire melting down about a joke that was told about her on the Babylon Bee.
Jacob, your mic is pulling from the wrong source. I just realized that because you got close and it didn't get closer. My bad.
Oh yeah, I see it there.
Yep.
Thanks for letting me know, guys, and you people in the chat.
Well,
like, hey, by the way, you're pulling from the wrong mic. I see what kind of fans you guys are.
They're busy. It's Christmas. They're doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying about this Babylon Bee article.
Yeah, no, this is the whole thing about the Babylon Bee. They made a joke about Candace at Candace Owens' expense, saying that she was mortified when she found out that Jesus Christ was a Jew, and she's literally been melting down about the joke for like the last 24 hours, going as far to even allege Jewish conspiracy against the Babylon Bee.
So
there's been a lot of that lately.
Mm-hmm.
You mean she proved their point? Is that what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's true. It's right here. I've got it right here. Here it is. Ta-da. We'll even put it up in the fancy new overlay, right, for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. I love this, by the way. I saw another streamer doing this, and I thought, well, let's just put our spin on it. And I think I might keep this. I might do something, of course, not Christmassy after this, but I might just keep the TV thing. I like this. Do you like this?
I do, especially when we cover trailers and stuff. I think this would be really, really cool to have.
Mm-hmm. Fair use friendly.
Yes.
Yeah, good luck trying to claim that is not fair use transformative. Good luck. We'll find out. We've got a few trailers to show, so.
Yeah, we do. There was a lot of trailers that came out over at Jump Festa, and I still have like hella articles to write.
Hella.
I'm at the point now where I think I only have one more movie to review before the year is up, and then I can actually start putting together my best, my worst, and my mid list of 2024. So pretty sure this weekend I'll have all those lists ready to go.
Oh God, thanks for reminding me. I still need to record a video for like the worst endings of manga endings of this year, because the Western manga community has really pissed me off about that.
Is that Nerdigan smoking with her cat? Is that what we're watching right now?
No.
Well, you can interpret that however you like, but I just really enjoy the fact that this Japanese man, presumably Japanese man, is sharing a cigarette with his cat.
Nerdigans, you're not a smoker, are you?
No.
Good.
Like, I want this VR game. Where you just stand in a window in some Japanese slum alley, some lower Shinjuku kind of slummy space, and you just smoke cigarettes.
That's got to be a plot of like some like post-apocalyptic movie. It's like life in the real world has gotten so bad that people are now just putting VR headsets on just so they can smoke with their virtual cats, and that's the only place they find peace in their life.
Right? That's the Ready Player 2.
Yeah, it's the sequel.
Oh God.
Yeah, because you really needed a sequel to that one. Now this one made me laugh. Okay, I gotta pause it before we show it because I forgot it was autoplay. Thanks, Elon. Really appreciate that. But here we go. So I don't know if you saw this one yet, but it's pretty good. For it. It'd be good. Teach me the way. I love it.
I mean, it only could have gone two ways. Either that, or he accidentally hacks his own leg off, which would have been funny too, given the context. But I mean, either or would have worked.
There was an all-star reply to this, and it's down here a little ways where a fella caught like the primo screenshot, and I forgot to bookmark it before we went live here. You have to forgive me. We got to scroll by everybody's reply here to find it, but yeah, Mr. Miyagi, yeah, well done, Mike. That's a good one. Good callback. Do you remember the karate? There it is. That's the one. And I got the best screen. Look at that.
That's so awesome.
It looks like Jazzy J being thrown out of the French press house.
You're right. That looks like somebody just grabbed him by the back of his pants and threw him out the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. Oh man. And then the hero of this shot is obviously the creeper van in the background right there.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, is this guy maybe like a landscaper and like on the side he's a TikTok martial artist? Is that what I'm seeing here?
During the weekday, he's a landscaper. On the weekend, he has free candy.
Hey, Jorge, watch this.
Yep.
He's parkouring off the lawnmower.
Yep. Yeah, Jorge's like actually trying to do like real work in the background.
we have stuff to do, man. Come on. Don't parkour on the van.
Yeah.
But speaking of parkouring, perhaps jumping the shark, we did have the season 3 premiere of What the Hell, or more popularly known as What If.
Oh, yeah.
What the F?
Song from Bleach Press.
That's
right. Oh, yeah, aka the bastardization of Gundam.
Well, it's not even Gundam. It seems to be like someone just got a snapshot, like a Wikipedia article on what Japanese mecha was. And they were like, okay, let me just throw this into a food processor. And whatever comes out the other end, whatever smoothie that comes out the other end will turn into an animated flick. And that's what it is.
Well, like people were comparing it to like Voltron and Sentai too. And like people were, a lot of mecha fans were furious at this. If you look at the comments, they were furious. And like the other thing I just think is funny is you see this and Mufasa get an 8, and then Sonic 3, which did get a great review, got a 6. And it's like,
right,
is this thing just paying them? Like how much are they paying them for these reviews?
Too much. Too much.
Whatever it is, it's too much.
What they say here is they say, what if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers is an action-oriented and straightforward romp that borrows liberally from the likes of Godzilla and Pacific Rim. Yeah, Pacific Rim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even MCU fans who don't normally tune in, what? Want to give this installment of What If a chance. No, they don't.
Yeah, I doubt that's exactly what they want to do. Here's the question. So is the What If series just like glorified pitch meetings now? It's like, is it just like someone like sitting in a boardroom being like, what if we did this? And they're just hoping like something sticks?
It's like the Osimo robot episode in of South Park where, you know, Cartman is the Osimo robot. He's in Hollywood and he's pitching all these movies. And he is talking about Adam Sandler doing all these random things. That's what this is right now. What the What If is right now.
Ready for that Christmas gift?
Yeah, we're just gonna pretend like we didn't see that. But on second level, it's basically to the point where it's like, okay, we're gonna walk into a movie, or not a meeting with like 8 ideas, and it's like one of them has to stick, and that's what I feel like the entire season of What If is at this point. It's just like we just need one of these to actually work.
Well, and see, here's the thing, okay? One of the biggest problems with the What If series isn't that it's a pitch meeting. I guarantee you, it's a Seth Rogen style. They get high and they go, wouldn't it be funny if we made a giant robot out of the Avengers? Line together, and it'll look really
I'm 45, childless, and I still smoke weed
for non-medical reasons. But the season is that this was a poor time of year to release this. By the way, summertime would have been a much better. Like, if you're gonna do giant robots at Christmas time, they need to fight a giant Santa Claus, like that episode of Gun Guy Gar or Guy Gar Gao, one or the other. Very well animated, but yeah, Santa gets his ass kicked by a giant robot. They're both just kaiju Santa. He's just overly muscular Santa that's 50 feet tall and wants to fight. And that's, but no, what did the event? They played it straight, and you can't do that when you're not trying to make that a legitimate thing. Step back for a second. What really annoys me about this mecha design, I'm trying to find it right now, is the What If Mecha vendor. So what annoys me is that lead mecha, the one that Captain America is romping around in here. It bears a bizarre resemblance to Algis from Gundam Wing, and it really annoys me that.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like somebody over there should be like passing a cease and desist at this point, right? Like, you think maybe? I mean, I'm sure that Disney's lawyers are smart enough to be like, can we pass with this? Are we going to get sued by is it Saban? Is it Saban the one we have to worry about now?
Or Sunrise?
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it'd be Bandai because Sunrise is.
It looks like a type of design where like Nintendo will send a cease and desist just because it looks like something that they own, not even that they actually own it.
We are going to sue you so that we own this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is a bit better of a depiction of it, okay? And so we have to borrow this fellow's thumbnail. He's very excited about this. I'm not. But as you can see, those are the verniers off of Tall Geese 3. That is the side profile of Tall Geese 1. And it has a scythe like the Glory of the Losers. Tall Geese Fuego, or the Angel one. And it's very, very annoying because as anybody who's like a base level like Gundam fan will recognize Tall Geese. And it's like, guys, just go all the way. Do Gundam Wing, but with the Avengers, okay? Very simply, Doctor Doom has taken over the Earth, right? Like Oz, okay? He's Trey's Kush Renata, right? Zex Marquise is who's a good one? Baron Zemo, okay? Right? Captain America's playing Hero Huey in Gundam, the Wing Gundam, right? And it just fits up really. Black Panther can be in Death Size. It'll be really great. It'll all line up real nice. But no. They we're not going to collaborate with these Japanese people. If anybody asks, this is Pacific Rim. Look, it's got a glowy thing in the chest. Nothing in Japan has a glowy thing in the chest. I hate this. I hate it so much.
I mean, obviously, you guys are a bit more profound in the world of Mecha, as they like to call it over there in the Japanese area than I am. But I just kind of like look at this and think to myself two things. One, the design of this does not look like a mega level Digimon. Like, that's one of the first things I thought of when I saw it. This does not look like something that has like a Greymon attached to it as far as like a style goes.
Yeah, and so this I'm just picking up a picture of the tall geese so that way you guys can get an idea of what I'm trying to talk about. So here's the tall geese, right? Now tell me that is not the base of where they got the design for that monstrosity right here. This look at that. Look at that. You almost trace it with what it looks like. It's even got the shield on the same arm.
Go back to the last picture here. You know what? This is a perfect representation. The last one right there. That looks like a cross between Gallantmon, for you Digimon fans out there, and like the 6th Ranger Megazord of any a series of like Super Sentai that you could think of, right?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it does kind of look like the White Tiger Megazord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking like I can't say Ranger because there was a lot of problems with that one, especially the time period. Shako
They don't have a white mecha in that one. There's no white mecha in
By the way,
this really annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, another thing you have to think of is like, how long have these things been going on? It's like at some point we're just looking at copies of copies of copies because we're talking about something that's been around 40 years now at least.
Yep.
Yeah, because it was the 70s Gundam started.
Let's say they didn't even do that. Let's say
I think they both
did
started in the 70s, right?
What?
I think they both started in the 70s.
When did the first?
I thought Sentai was like the 80s.
No, it goes back to the 70s. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 75 was when they did. 76 rather was when they did Go Ranger, which is the first Sentai. It'll be celebrated in 2026. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. I don't have time to dig it all up tonight. It's another headache in and of itself. So the Avengers comic book, the first publication is 1963 is when the Avengers were first formulated officially on the Marvel brand. So there you go.
That's when Iron Man still liked the Iron Giant. In that old design.
Yeah, he was like that bullet head character from the Justice Friends. You remember that? Man, it's so sad that actress died that played Dexter's voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Strong can't match it somehow, because like that would be excellent to have Dexter come back as like his super selves again from Ego Trip, and they team up with the Justice Friends. It's not live action. But you can play it up as goofy as Teen Titans Go, because Dexter's not a serious thing, and the the Justice Friends weren't serious. Because like my favorite thing about that character is when they're fighting Raslar, the not Randy Savage from outer space.
Yeah,
and the bullet character there, he's like, gotta get back to the misses and the little lead heads. And I was like, that's so perfect. I love it. I want more of it. You had Capital G, and he was like the Apache chief of the crew. They had everybody. Such a Valhallan, the Viking god of rock.
I know. I love Valhallan. He was just so awesome.
Right? If there was anything that they should really reach into the Cartoon Network toy box and try to pull out into something they could turn into a cinematic universe, it is absolutely the Justice Friends. Now that the boys have made superheroes all violent and gross and sexual, just introduce some clowns that save the day kind of by accident.
But you would need Gendy to do it. You can't have anyone but Gendy touch that, because otherwise it will just get really, really fucked up.
Well, you saw how powerful he was with that first season of My Little Pony. I mean, after he left the show, the whole thing fell apart. I mean, you can read reviews upon reviews about how the second season just fell right apart as soon as he walked off. But him and Lauren working together on that was like just apparently cartoon gold. So
you're talking about Friendship is Magic? Yeah.
That new one.
The newer one?
No. The one that was on the hub from like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's Friendship is Magic. Friendship is Magic is really, really good.
I'm glad you know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Friendship is Magic is good.
I was watching Transformers Prime and Optimus raking his tire ass cheeks over Megatron's face.
No, I actually watched Friendship and Magic like 5 years ago. I like binge watched it on Netflix, and I'm surprised I didn't watch it sooner. It's really well written. We don't have kid shows like that anymore.
Kenneth Domingo points out this is probably part of it. He says, why am I not surprised with those hacks at Marvel? They're so creatively bankrupt to the point that they'll steal ideas and designs from others. And that's kind of what we're looking at. We have that intro there where all those guys are confessing that they never read the comics. They just kind of got an overview and went to town.
But I say that's how they got hired. Isn't that where everyone gets hired now? Oh, by the way, I'm woefully unqualified.
I mean, we saw it with Crunchyroll recently. We got the expose where after the merger, or like right as the merger was happening, that Funimation, it was mostly Funimation employees that took over, and they have the anime is for kids kind of mentality, and that they were only hiring candidates that were not fans of anime. And if you look at it, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. And then there's also the person in charge of marketing that they hired as well that pissed off their licensors. Remember the whole debacle at San Diego Comic-Con with One Piece? That was the guy that was behind it. Yeah, and not only that, he apparently he told employees not to promote Dandadan. And he's a former Netflix guy, so yeah, you gotta wonder if he was trying to.
There's a lot of shady streaming people circling around right now. We talked about the guy from Prime Video not too long ago, so yeah, it seems like they've weaseled their way into the streaming game.
Yeah, I think they were calling it like the boys club around this guy, around the marketing guy. It's just like, God, yeah, it's really, really ugly with what's happening there. I mean, Satire, we talked about it before about Perini's, business strategy. The Crunchyroll employees that spoke out, they confirmed that, yeah, it's a clusterfuck over there, and they're confused on the strategy on what Perini wants to do. And I'm just like, yeah, this totally makes sense on what's happening, what we've, seen over the past few years.
Well, you've also got Visa acting on this same thing now, where
I'm the same mindset,
kids, no matter where they come from. And this is now finally how the West is going to strangle out Japan's influence on Western media, is by thoroughly neutering its ability to infect the West by creating such a high censor wall. There's nothing to do with regulation, guys. We didn't pass any laws, not us. Those are those Australian guys. So now all the corporations have to follow them. And that's what the thing is that they admitted that. The Visa guy said it's global laws we're now following, and that's why the restrictions have occurred.
And I freaking knew it as soon as we saw this. I think I even said it on the stream before that it's going to be because of Europe and Australian laws, and that's why. But yeah, we've seen the European regulations with the Pokemon leaks. It's just insane with what they're doing over there, and it's getting even worse.
It's pretty painful.
It's what?
I said it's pretty painful.
It is really painful. But yeah, I mean, they could try all they want. They really can. They could try all this stupid crap that they want. You're not going to stop it.
Maybe they should do a trick.
Hey, what's up? Does he do any tricks?
I guess he can. Do some tricks.
Is the video frozen for anyone? So,
yay! All right. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Frozen?
No, did you do any tricks?
Underneath the bridge,
nothing but nom, baby.
I just thought that was funny. Like it just somehow there's this very like awkward Pikachu, and then there's like a really, really demented Charizard right there, and he's having Vietnam flashbacks. I don't know what happened to cause that.
The story no one knows is just how long he put into making that Charizard costume, only to get shown up and like immediately
right. He's walking through the door, and it's the Pikachu's doing a dance right there. It's like, oh, yeah.
Like my wings don't even work.
Oh, but something before I forget, going back to Crunchyroll for a second. I don't think Sony Japan, like Aniplex and them, I don't think they know what's happening. It's like a completely separate world from there, because my Aniplex insider told me that usually it's just once the anime leaves the studio, like they have no idea what happens. They don't know about the localizations until, fans tell them what's going on.
That sounds very Japanese.
So that's my guess. I sent my Aniplex insider, the information, the Bloomberg article, and his response was like, I hate Funimation.
That sounds about right.
So yeah, they really don't know what's happening until we tell them what's happening. So
they're in this little thing we like to call it bubble.
Yep. Yeah, Japan's in a complete bubble compared to like the rest of the global anime industry. So
yeah. I mean, God, man, Sony. What happened to them over the course of the last 20 years, man?
Well, it's mainly the Western Sony distribution that's like really, really fucked up. But
speaking of that, we do have the Chainsaw Man Reze Arc.
Oh man, I'm so happy with this. Like I said it in my video covering this. I said I felt so vindicated because when Chainsaw Man, the initial Chainsaw Man came out, I remember the panel at Crunchyroll Expo, and they were saying that they were going to, take the realism live action approach to Fujimoto's, manga. And I was like, why are you doing that with a surrealistic series? That is the dumbest thing you can do. And as soon as I saw, the production team, and I saw, the Black Clover director was only doing the action animation directing, I'm like, wait, what is going on? This does not seem right. This feels off. But then it has been rectified with he has taken over and is now directing Reze. And you look at this trailer and it's like, yes, this is the surrealism. This has life. This feels like a Fujimoto anime adaptation.
Okay.
You see how like much more colorful it is. If you look at like, the original Chainsaw Man season 1's anime, it was so lifeless. It was so dull. It was so clunky. And here, look how fluid it is. And look at it compared to the manga panels. It looks like an anime adaptation. And something this user points out, when you see the black, that means it's an extra scene. So yes, we're getting extended scenes here, which is what an anime adaptation should do.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't understand what you'd be. It's just intros then. You're not extending
but
the fight.
Look at that. Look at that. Look how beautiful and chaotic that is. You would not get that if we still have the same director from season 1. But look how nice
there's a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen kind of kinetic action there.
Yeah, but look, it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see it.
Well, it finally made it through just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, and everyone lost their minds when they saw the Chainsaw Man trailer. But yeah, and here's the thing that's interesting with Chainsaw Man. So at the panel, the voice actor for Denji was saying that he was kind of hinting that the release date was going to be around the time that Typhoon appeared. And based on what Comic Natalie was saying, which is a Japanese publication, it sounds like it's going to be around the time that the Typhoon Devil made their debut in the manga, which would be in October. And ironically, that is the time that, or I should say, coincidentally, that is the time that Typhoon season ends in Japan, which is very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and it's they're very in tune with that kind of symbolism. They're very in tune with that kind of symbolism. So there's also a bit of a fatalist attitude right now in Japan too. So I'm not surprised that was that was a choice too. So,
hi, Spencer.
Whoa, green screen down. Hi, Nerdigans. How's it going?
Good. You came in time. You missed the trailer for Chainsaw Man.
I know, but I'm very glad. What I want to say at the top is I'm very glad you're getting good anime news because well, let me rephrase that. There's really good anime news. You're staying on top of it. I'm glad you're happy for it because I'm sure we'll talk about it. But that what if sequence with the mechs sucks. So aside from that, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you're having a great Merry Christmas Eve. And I'm glad you could join us. And let's get back to it. Let me fix that.
Speaking of Christmas, an anime that got announced, and I love that got announced on Christmas, is Sanda. So what Sanda is, it's a manga by Paru Itagaki, who is the mangaka of Beastars. And what it is, it's set like in the distant future where, if you guys know about Japan's declining birth rate, it's really, really drastic in this series. Yeah. And here you have like the government arranged marriages. Also, there's like elaborate plastic surgery happening, and medical science are in the forefront of Japanese society. So the kids are in, all the kids are in a boarding school now, and they are being constantly monitored, and youth is extremely valuable. So they are barely allowed to even sleep. So their puberty is kind of stunted. It's very fascinating. But the main character that the series revolves around, Sanda, he's a descendant of Santa Claus. And as soon as like he bleeds or he sees, I think it's even if he sees red, if I remember correctly, he turns into Santa. And the more that kids, start believing in him, the more powerful he becomes. It's very, very interesting. And later on in the series, you get to see like a descendant of one of Santa's reindeer. And he does go to school, which is awesome. And he has really sick powers. You even get to see a descendant of
wait.
What?
A descendant reindeer, as in like a humanoid, or like
it's a humanoid. And he's a femboy too, and he is getting both the girls and the guys want to get with him too.
Oh, is that picture you were talking about earlier?
No, not that one. But there's also
like
somebody
there's
saw
two.
Chopper. Somebody looked at Chopper when he was in his released form, and they were like, "Wood."
Yeah, that's
what
what I was
all
gonna
this
say. I was like, this
started.
I was like, this is just Chopper, Nerdigans.
Mm-hmm.
But
more steps.
But there's also I've posted it before. I did post the reindeer, descendant of the reindeer before, but there's also a descendant of the jack-o'-lantern, he is really awesome. He has like a flashlight that like literally does like x-rays through you and like could really fuck up your organs. It's awesome. And there's also descendants of the other holidays that Santa meets up with. It's so freaking sick. But like when they do leave the school, which they do, you get to see how like destroyed Japan is. It is just such a good series. It's not officially licensed at the moment, so you got to rely on fan translations, which is probably a good thing considering some of the localizer situation. But God, it's the political commentary that's in Sanda is just fantastic, and I strongly recommend it.
All right, we'll have to wait until it comes out.
Yeah, but the studio, by the way, is Science Saru that's doing it. Which is the same studio as Dandadan.
Oh, okay, that explains the action sequence. All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of fun action sequences, we do have the cast for Panty and Stocking.
Yeah, we got last night. We got the trailer. Finally, got the trailer for the new season of Panty and Stocking, as well as the cast. And everyone has been losing their mind. I sent it to Spencer, and Spencer just like lost his mind.
It's been what, Nerdigans, like 10 years since they ruined Christmas the last time. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like this is since.
Do you remember that, Nerdigans? Were you there for that? So for those of you who weren't there back in the before times, about what, a decade now at least, right?
At least.
The season. What we thought was a season finale.
We have a button for that. Hold on.
the lore, 1800 giga lore or giga paragraphs of lore. But for those of you who weren't, that's an amazing bumper. But back in the day, Panty and Stocking, an amazing series, took the internet by storm. Everybody was excited. We got to Christmas Eve, and the first season of the show ended on a major cliffhanger. And that was the last we heard of it until last year.
Yep, and now we got a trailer, we got a cast, still a release date, and also this is post Trigger like fully taking over too, right? Yeah. So this is really, really exciting.
Oh, for a minute there, I was like, oh look, it's Gurr from Invader Zim. Down there on
they're definitely that's what they're going for. That
yeah,
parody.
they are going for that parody.
This entire show is a parody of like cartoons, like the old 90s, early 2000s of cartoons and stuff. Like Dexter, Powerpuff Girls.
What was that one with the cats where they were rich? One of them was Scottish. The other one was that kid from the hall, Canadian guy.
You said
cats?
It was cats, yeah.
Yeah, when you said cats, my immediate reaction was Top Cat, and I was like, I'm way too old for this room.
See, I went to Cat Dog. I went to Cat Dog, and I'm like, Cider would have said a dog if that would, and that would have made sense.
Cat Scratch.
That was the one I was
Scratch.
Oh, okay, now I remember that. I hated that.
I really like that one. Wow. I liked all the cats having such different personalities, and then Newman being the black cat that was just constantly trying to cause some shit. I love that.
So let me correct. The show isn't bad. At the time it came out, I was in that like young phase where like I only wanted cool things, like cool anime. So this came out in like 2005, 4 or something. So I was like, this looks stupid. Cartoons are still stupid. I don't want to watch like kid cartoons anymore. I've watched it since, and it's hilarious. It's still pretty good, but that's my initial reaction to it every time is like, the not anime show.
Yeah, the not anime show. If you're curious about what we're talking about here, it's this show with these 3 cats.
Doug! It's from Doug Tenapel.
Yeah, that was way past my era.
Yep. And well, see, I used to work at a preschool for autistic kids, so like they had all these cartoons and stuff they wanted to watch all the time. So in the process of like being a teacher's assistant and making sure nobody died, or killed another kid, it's not that they're violent or anything. It's just you get moved. We had one kid. We called him Cannonball Dan because when he'd want to hug you, he'd be like at the other end of the room and like 3-year-old, like full linebacker at you, just absolute head in front of feet.
Oh no. Okay.
And if
at first
you
had to, then it became dangerous.
Right. So you had to have your head on a swivel because if he missed you, he was going to hit somebody else or something else. And if he hit you and you weren't aware, he's going to take the leg out from underneath you. So, and
why is it that we're only feeding autistic kids cartoons? How can we give them something more wholesome, like I don't know, Slam Ball or Robot Wars or like The Sopranos, something that's more in line with like.
That's our pitch. All right, Zero One Crew, we're going to HBO and we're saying autistic Sopranos. I can see it right. That's all we need to say. It's going to be a hit. I can see it now. Imagine Big Bang Theory with guns.
You remember that
scene? Idea.
You remember that scene where Tony's coming out of his house and they got the guys that are pretending to be fire or whatever, and he says, "I'm just going down to get stationery." Right? We have him lean out the window. He says, "I'm just going down to get more puzzle pieces. All right, more puzzles. I'll be back. Okay, you want me to bring you back puzzles. Anything? Don't touch me."
He gets in a big wheel that's next to a giant SUV, and then he just rolls down the street.
My mom's taking me down to the puzzle shop. I'll be right back.
It's like literally like
mafia. Oh no!
And an autistic kid is like singing the Sopranos theme song, yet it's offbeat as fuck.
Hyper canceled.
Dum 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 dum. Oh wait, that's Law and Order, but
that's yeah. Now who's the idiot, huh?
Well, it thematically worked because the lyrics are dum 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 dum.
Leave it to Spencer to make himself look stupid as we're making fun of autistic people.
we need Snyder to like AIify that scene from Quantum Leap where Scott Bakula jumps into like the Down syndrome guy, but put my face on it instead.
Yeah, right.
I'm retarded.
So you have more anime updates. I don't know if you're prepared for that, but too bad. Here it is.
Animu.
So here we are.
Oh, what's this one? Oh, is that hold on a second, scroll up for a second. Is that Dandadan like I think it is? Yeah, that's Dandadan. Okay, so for Dandadan has just been such has been such a controversial anime, and I hate that it's gone mainstream because of it. Poor Chibi. He's still getting crap. But
Chibi, dude, I saw another one, Nerdigans, where it obviously just another one of those teenagers you and I run into on the internet all the time. You know, they get pushed into our feed, but they were like, "Oh, I can't believe you're all supporting the episode, like this series, this like pro sexual assault series," and everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" And there's that scene in the most recent episode where they're like bathing. And the serpent.
Oh, hold on a second. Like, I gotta put this up for a second. Evil Eye looks so freaking sick. That looks so off. Dude, I love Evil Eye. This arc is just amazing because I love Evil Eye GG so freaking much.
Look at that art.
Oh god.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good. It's still not gonna give me like the shading and line work that
okay, we need
gives,
to. You and I've been working on this with you for years. It's okay because it's anime and not manga. I know where you're coming from.
But there's no excuse. There's no excuse because Bleach $1,000 Blood War did it in like 2 episodes where we got like the actual manga shading, and one of them was in the most recent episode in the final shot with Basby.
That wasn't the entire series. Those were two moments.
I know.
We can probably get that.
No, there was the scene in the it was Mayuri's scene with when he was going through that guilt trip, and it was a full like 2.
They used it for that.
Yeah, they used full shading for that scene when I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
No, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, but it was the other guy. It
just seems like I'm not against it. Like, I think that's cool, but yeah, that's what I'm like.
It was random for that. Out of all the scenes,
I don't know if I would have done for that.
I do love. Just real quick, I do love just the absolute passion that you and Nerdigans are having talking about this concept. And on the flip side, like me and Cider are just standing here off the ether. I
haven't a clue what's going on here, but I'll act like I do.
Yep, exactly.
We're talking about Bleach right now, so I like Spencer. I wish they would have used that shading on Perdita. Like that's where it really needed.
Yeah,
the most.
Been there, or it should have been honestly in that first confrontation between Ichigo and Yawik
yes,
I can never say his name
right.
Bach,
Uabach?
Yeah, like because what is it? That's where the first
is that how you say
right?
You're calling him like Yuahacha.
Right? No, see, like I don't know how to do it right either. I kind of just wait for Nerdigans to say it, and then I go, yeah, that guy.
Damn German names, weird spelling.
God, Gigi looks so good here. It's so like considering it's Science Saru, I will give them that this looks good, but like their art and animation style works a little bit better for Sanda because if you look at Itagaki's art, there's like less shading and less line work, so it works a little bit better. But like with Tatsu's art, it's just like almost unadaptable. It's that detailed and it's hard, but at least Gigi looks decent. I will give you that. It could look a whole lot worse. It could be JC staff like making him stiffer than hell and looking like crap. So I will give you that, Science Saru. Where you're giving me nothing. But JC staff gives you a lot of nothing.
I think Science Saru is like real. You're like, am I out of line saying like they're probably one of the top like 5, maybe 3 in the business right now?
It's not top 3. I would say like maybe top 5, maybe. You're being generous with top 5, but not top 3. No.
Okay, no. That's why I was asking. I was like asking your opinion because you know more of the read. That's what my read was, and I was seeing if that was valid or not. It's barely valid.
Yeah, it's barely valid. But yeah, Science Saru is doing a decent job, but like considering the source material, like if you were giving me something like, if you look at like Trigger, this is why I wanted Trigger to adapt Dandadan, because Dandadan gets very surrealistic at times, and Trigger gives you that with like say like Kill la Kill, because I really wanted like a Kill la Kill style anime for Dandadan, and they would really bring the chaos to the full limit and give you everything and can compensate for like the shading and line work that Tatsu does. And I would have just like loved it so much. Science Saru is trying. I will give them that, but they're just not giving me like the level of chaos that like say a Studio Trigger anime anime would give you, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong. Here's where I would not even like, say you're wrong, but like my counter to that is you're comparing Studio Trigger to Science Saru, and Studio Trigger at this point is like, there's like no good Western equivalents anymore. Like a Tom Cruise to like Chris Evans, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like Trigger is Trigger. They do Evangelion. They are the goats of the goats of the goats. If you go back and you look at like what Science Saru does, they did, Keep Your Hands Off Isaacan. They did Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which the writing for that was awful. The animation itself was beautiful. They did Devilman Crybaby. They did a couple of the Garo series, which only the other Toku nerds out there will know. Space Dandy. So like they are very much there. Like I think they are like an understudy to Trigger, whereas Trigger is still like the main big force. So it's sort of like almost unfair to ever compare Studio Trigger to anybody, because it's like, well, you could animate, like Dragon Ball Super. It's like, oh, you're okay, Toho's doing that, but what if it was Studio Trigger? And it's like, well, no, duh, it would be like way better.
Well, like here's my thing with this is that, like, as I said, with Science Saru can handle stuff where it's like where the source material doesn't have like a lot of line work or a lot of shading, like something like, as I said, like with something like Sanda, where it doesn't have all that. But like with something like Dandadan, though, you gotta have like, you really gotta be on top of it and have like something that can compensate for the line work and the shading and give it dimension. But in Science Saru just is not at that level yet. That's the thing, because they're a newer studio, I believe, right? If I remember correctly.
Like within the last decade, I think. Yeah, not like super new, but I think like maybe just a decade.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, they're not at that level yet where it's like they can give you like a UFO table kind of level of anime or a Madhouse level of anime.
That's true. I forgot about those two guys. Those two, Madhouse and UFO table. I do love them.
Yeah.
I do have a question. This right here, now the Terminator Zero was from Production IG, I believe is the studio.
Yeah, it's from Production IG and Skydance, if I remember correctly.
Sakuromita asks, Cider, Jacob, Nerdigans, and Spencer, have you watched Terminator Zero?
I've seen a little bit of it through the leaks, and it looked really good. I've heard nothing but good things about it through numerous forums. What about you, Spencer? Did you watch the whole thing?
Okay, so we should actually come to me last, Nerdigans, because there's something I need to expand on. So come to me last. Go to Cider and Jacob first.
My quick answer is no.
Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to give you guys the opportunity. So, like Nerdigan, here's where I am on Terminator Zero. I'm like Nerdigans. I have heard nothing but good things about it. Everybody who I know who has watched it is like, that's pretty good. Right before that anime came out, I was arguing with a bunch of my friends about like they should have never tried to franchise Terminator. Like you had T1, T2, perfect. Everything else after that has just been sort of a big disaster. That one where they the one where they went into the future with Batman with Christian Bale was entertaining as like a visual film, but as a Terminator film, it was god awful. So from what I know, that series is actually pretty good. People have liked it, and it's a worthy Terminator entry. However, I personally did not check it out because it is produced by Production IG. And I personally say fuck Production IG because Nerdigans, do we want to keep it like between like low, or do you want to, or can I talk about it?
I don't know if it's the best idea, but
okay. All right, I'll be very nice about it. I'll be very light. So, long story short, a long time ago, probably a year or two now, maybe 3. Nerdigans wrote an article about the Uzumaki anime when it got hit with a delay. It got hit with a delay about, and it wasn't like we're canceling it. It was just they announced, hey, we're taking it off the schedule. We don't know when it's coming out yet. So with that, Nerdigans wrote up an article, gave it the title of Uzumaki indefinitely delayed, which is what it was. Even in her article, she writes, indefinite delay. We don't know when it's coming back, but it will, or when it's going to air, but they haven't canceled it. We just don't know what's going on. Long story short, that evolved into a back and forth between me and the vice president of production IG, who hangs out on Twitter. Like, she got into my inbox and started yelling at me about, oh, you guys, how dare, like, you're lying to the people. This isn't what we said. And I was like, do you know what indefinite delay means? And she just wouldn't hear it. So she started threatening me. She started threatening the business. She was like, I'm going to go to the anime industry and tell everybody that you were talking noise on us. And I was just like, fine, like, go do that. Okay. So ever since then, I'm like, I personally don't want anything to do with production IG. But I
should have said no balls.
Yeah, no balls. Do it. I messaged her. I was like, 3 p.m. flagpole. Where are you going to be? But yeah, so I know that they do great work. I know a lot of people like what they've got coming out. I just don't appreciate when we do accurate reporting and you try to attack not only, you can come after me, that's fine. But the second you start going after any of the people right here, my friends, my coworkers, or any of the other staff, it's go time.
Look, you can attack Nerdigans all you want. I don't give a damn. But, if you ever say anything about me, that's what we...
You said Bounding wrote something wrong, not Nerdigans. We're on.
Exactly.
But yeah, I didn't get a chance to check it out. I still, even knowing it's good, again, I don't think Terminator should have ever been franchised. It just feels desperate. I don't even know, like, a good equivalent. A good equivalent might, like Disney Star Wars, where, like, they keep making, here's Terminator 3, here's Terminator Genesis, and everybody just goes,
Terminator Dark Part.
Huh? Oh yeah, Terminator Dark Part. Yeah, and everybody just goes, we don't want it. Stop. And every
remember that time that
worse than the last.
Do you remember that time that Arnold just walked into a turbine and just got just totally decimated into, like, dust, like vaporized?
Do we remember the time, like, I think it was in Dark Fart where they revealed this, where John, oh yeah, it is, because I think Dark Fart is the one with the good Terminator where he ends up, like, killing John Connor, and the entire thing is so stupid.
And then his name's like Jeff or something.
Yeah, well, that entire bit is dumb, but the whole thing where he, like, because John and Linda are sitting at, like, a cabana in Mexico, and Terminator just walks up, shotguns John, and then when everybody's freaking out, he just, like, 180s and just walks away, and nobody does anything. Nobody tries to stop him, and he just and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what bad writing is this?
Don't look at the crime scene. They just shoot kids and walk away.
I mean, it is Mexico. Their law enforcement is a little underappreciated.
They will rob you.
So Sakuramita says James Cameron should just make a future war movie instead of another damn reboot. Now, I don't know about you, but as an as an MST3K, whatever, Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, you remember Future War, don't you? Where the dinosaurs and they were inside of the warehouse with all the boxes that didn't have anything in them. You remember that, don't you? The guy from the future that learned English in a woman's living room by listening to the radio. Right?
Who wouldn't remember something like that?
Oh, well, now I want to see James Cameron because they had dinosaurs, they had cyborg bounty hunters, they were time travelers who were in space that didn't use time travel to initially arrive, but were using time travel to try and correct their mistakes repetitively. And dinosaurs were involved, and I just. Boxes and dinosaurs.
Oh my god! Now you just made me think, Cider. Like, we're gonna get the next Terminator trailer, and its ending stinger is gonna be like, "Oh, all of our time machines went wrong," and the ending stinger is gonna be like a Terminator T-Rex roaring at the screen, and I'm just going to.
The Terminator Jurassic World crossover.
Oh god!
Where Skynet hacks into the latent data of the Jurassic World Park and resurrects that raptor that had all the superpowers.
It's already all there. The Indoraptor. Yeah. It's all already there because the second film Film number 2 reveals that like the little girl they take care of, she is like a living, breathing clone. So like they have completed clone technology in this world now, not just for like dinosaurs. So now it could be like Skynet infects Grant's computer to steal clone info to make its own bodies, and it's just like I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, and there you go. You got like they'll call it the
Sonic
Exoraptor.
3. I watched Sonic 3. That movie at least made me happy for a little bit. I don't want to go back to this reality world.
Right. Well, I got some good news though. Okay, there is some good news out there. Now you know about this Red Ranger Isekai, right? Well, apparently he has a whole team. Okay.
Yes, he does.
Now that whole team consists of Sentai alumni who are being the voice actors,
which is so cool.
Awesome. They're not going to be in there for very long, though. But if you read the series, you know.
Also, interesting, nerding, is I didn't notice this until Cider showed it right now because I only focused on the big key visual. But the character design art there, they're showing them in their like regular
civilian
world, like but they're not like that. Like like, the blue guy is supposed to be a straight up like Roy style knight. Like he doesn't really appear like that, I think, until like near the end. Or like near where we are now,
he doesn't appear like that. Like they barely appear in the beginning because we see Kazuna Red like isekai'd, and then we don't see them again until like way later. Way later. I think it's like after. I think we see them a little bit during the Egypt Sentai arc, which is like before Kazuna.
But isn't that just like flashbacks, or like
it's via
Red,
flashbacks.
like thinking? Yeah, he's like remembering.
Yeah, we see them via flashbacks, and then we don't see them like at all until like way later after that.
We'll get into it, but I think at least Nerdigans, maybe you feel like this. I feel like it would have been more effective if you showed them as their like fantasy forms. That's more interesting to me. Like, look, a knight, a witch, they become Sentai heroes because regular people becoming Sentai, that's what Sentai is already.
Yeah.
So
but
it's
going to be cool. I can't wait.
It is going to be good.
What I like about this is they went through and they actually found guys that have recently come back in the Super Sentai series. So you have Mega Blue from the Mega Ranger series. You have Deca Pink playing Yellow. I really like that. I like that's very clever.
I do like that.
We have this is Kaku Ranger Blue. I know as an English speaker, Kaku Blue is a little fun to say. But yeah, he's playing the green guy who's apparently military oriented. So that's curious that they have like a cross recruitment thing going on with this group. Like this businessman, teacher kind of guy, this lady that is a yoga instructor, most likely, or some type of small business owner, and then a military man. And then down here, and then again, like you have Go Buster Yellow, reprising her role as coming in as a Pink Ranger, apparently as a schoolgirl. So it's quite a bizarre kind of makeup, because usually with Sentai they have like some kind of like unifying thing that brought them together, but it appears like these people are just at like a cafe.
5 teenagers with attitude.
Well, yeah, they were all like youth, like doing things though. Like
but that's I'm on your side is what I'm saying. Like that was the connection. You needed 5 teenagers with attitude.
Yeah, and this seems like there were 5 people at a cafe and they got hit with Sentai powers.
5 people at a local Starbucks or something.
Get me 5 savvy shoppers.
Okay. I was gonna say like that sounds like it could be a fun idea of like 5 random people get their superpowers and then whatever. But Jacob, did you watch that movie from like 5 years ago called like The Pill or whatever with like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and I think Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, no. I don't think it's called The Pill. It was a Netflix movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Netflix movie. Might not
I know
be
what you're talking about.
The powers, something stupid, like very simple like that.
Yeah, I remember you talking about.
And that movie was bad. And that's basically the plot.
Great.
And I'm like, no, never mind. I don't want that again.
That was that weird.
Something different. I did not mean to do that. I'm so sorry. I did not know. It's the UK. That means something different. That's not what I was implying. I was just trying to do the V for victory peace sign. Not Not the other thing.
Directly
I'm so
to the
sorry
one
break
person
in.
who's ever identified themselves as from the UK.
Yeah,
Immediate.
but exactly. And it's the inner American in me. Like, oh
I
yeah,
was gonna say
you and your
have to give us-
monarchy,
you have
huh?
to give us a pass. We
You're in
see
your monarchy.
British and we just hear Yankee Doodle going through our head.
Please feel free to resume. I'm sorry. I just realized.
Yeah,
this. I
what
was
were,
like,
what were you
that's
saying, Jacob, about that awful movie?
No, that was that weird era of like Netflix, which I mean, they're still kind of doing to this day, not as much, but
Not as
when
much.
there's like, we're gonna get one notable star in a movie, so we're gonna get Jamie Foxx, right? And then we're going to co-star him with a complete and other no name that just so happens to meet our diversity, inclusion, and equity cause.
Oh my god.
And then we're gonna put them in a movie together, and somehow it's like the pro wrestling terms, like, you know, give them the rub. It's like Jamie Foxx is supposed to like give, you know, this no name the rub. Be like, well, if they're in a movie together, she's gonna be a star now after this, and it didn't work like at all. All you had was someone who was just a really bad actor in a movie starring Jamie Foxx.
I saw this post on Twitter, Jacob, and maybe the rest of you can agree with it too, but I feel like it's relevant. Somebody was talking about like they were making a joke about how so apparently what it is, like somebody made a joke about like, dog, the only movie stars that are going to come out of my generation are the cast of Riverdale, and everybody was laughing, and then somebody was like, and then the guy retweeted, he's like, no, you don't understand. Back in the day, actors used to like do seasons of TV, and that would sort of be like their training ground before they went up to like a bigger thing. There's nobody doing that anymore. Like Riverdale was really the only like cast doing that sort of filming. And I'm like, is that true? Is that really how it's going to eke out? Are we only going to know those guys? I mean, I like Cole Sprouse a lot.
Nope, it's all going downhill.
Well, we
well,
do have
TikTok
a question
people. Hold on, it's TikTok people getting famous now. And
Mr.
We do have a question from the chat. Leona Rad asked, I was wondering if they do do an English dub, which of the Power Ranger actors and actresses would you want to voice this?
Ooh, this is fun. This is a good idea, Sakura. I didn't even think about
that. Was Bayona.
Or what did I? Oh, I said Sakura. Sorry, yeah, Bayona, not Sakura. No, that's
I know who I want. Johnny Young Bosch to voice Red Kazuna.
Done. Can't even.
He never got to play a red. Never got to be a red in the show. And
he's also Kazuna Black too, because Kazuna Red does transform into Kazuna Black, so it'd be red and black.
Synergy. There you go. Yeah, it would be great. It would be great to have the actress that played Taylor return as the Yellow Ranger, because that seems to kind of be sort of the ambiance of this Yellow Ranger. She's a bit rough around the
Which one was she in again? Which
Wild Force.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that was Wild Force Yellow.
Yep. Definitely not the one I was thinking of.
No. And
no, our favorite Yellow is SPD. We all know that.
I don't think she can in your hour. Hour.
Yeah.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
But yeah, I think it would be cool to have TJ, the guy that played TJ, return to play the Green Ranger. That would be an interesting.
TJ was the kid, right?
No, that was Justin. TJ was a black guy.
Oh, right, yeah.
Nobody likes Justin.
No.
That's why I was gonna be like, cider, bold pick.
No. And Cat, the Pink Ranger there, I think.
Yeah, hold on, just pause for a second. We've already established that nobody likes Justin, so imagine sitting in a pitch meeting. It's like, how can we make people not like him even more? I got an idea.
I got it.
I've been voiced the Pink Ranger. Yeah, I think Cat's got that Australian accent that I think is like, I don't know, just sort of fun to have in an American Sentai. Just for whatever reason, Australians seem at home in Sentai for some reason. I don't get it. More so than Americans for me. I don't know. Like an Australian person transforming makes a little bit more sense in my head than an American.
Because they actively have to like transform to fight like Rita-sized spiders and birds.
That's true.
I think more along the line is that an American, if America was to embrace a Sentai truthfully, it would just be a walking atomic bomb. That we really it just would be overkill. The Power Ranger, that War Machine, the Power.
Do we have to do Do we have to do a poll in the chat to ask who's the hotter Yellow Ranger, Maya from Lost of Galaxy or Ashley from Turbo?
Oh.
Who do you want to throw in there, Nerdigans? Who's your husbando? Wow. Who do you want to throw into the poll?
That's a callback.
God.
Cider, one of my favorite memes lately is I guess there's a new term. So everybody out here, we know the term waifu husbando, right? It's just like, oh, that's the character I really, really like. I guess the new term for that, as language has evolved, is self-shipping. Like I self-ship myself with them.
Oh,
and I saw somebody share that I forget what he was originally yelling about, but it's that one from Trump where he's like, they're saying this now. You can't do that. So it's like they're saying self-shippers now instead of waifu. You can't do that. And I watch it at least like twice a day, and it always makes me crack up.
No, what's self-shipping? Oh no, that's self-cess I'm thinking of with if you have a character, if you ship a character.
Of course you would know this. I would.
Weird-ass community.
I will say this. You also can throw in what's her face from Dino Thunder in there if you want. What's her name?
Everyone has a distinct voice. The trouble with a lot of Power Ranger actresses is they don't have a distinct voice. They have like average Midwestern girl voice, and that's usually most of them. Now you got like Madison, which was the Blue Ranger from Mystic Force, and she sort of had a nasally high tone voice. But that doesn't favor an adventurer style character, which is the usual thing.
But that's kind of the problem, though. Who else are you gonna know like from your voice outside of like Mighty Morphin, right? Because I mean, if you put Kimberly in there, everyone's gonna know like her voice and like say thing with Catherine.
Problem is, she sounds like a grandma. She doesn't sound like 1990s Kimberly anymore. She sounds like Kimberly that's seen a few too many.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's because she's 54 years old now.
Right. So maybe she shouldn't be playing a schoolgirl. Call me crazy.
Astronomer up in there.
Whoa! Why are you so exclusive, Cider? Okay,
slow down with the ageism there.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. The ageism.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like PTSD over Grandpa Keanu voicing Sonic. It sounds
Shadow.
Shadow, rather. Shadow. My bad.
Like bring in, but seriously, bring in Astronomer. I love her.
She's still around. She's still alive.
Yes, she is. Yeah, and she's clean too. She's one of those Hillary Duff types that like got out before it got done.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, yeah, she's been clean for like at least 5 years now. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was that bad.
Hey, she's not Lindsay Lohan. She's not Lindsay Lohan.
You know, apart from the couple of Red Rangers that murdered people, Saban and Disney kind of left their people intact.
Hey, get what's her name, Eliza Dushku. I'm pretty sure she's available. She's sober for now.
Yeah, she doesn't do acting anymore, and maybe that's
she got blacklisted a few years ago. It was a whole thing.
That is one of my favorite old school Family Guy jokes from like the first 3 seasons, where like I forget what the setup is, but Peter says something to Brian. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I made the house cleaner than Alyssa or Eliza Dushku or whatever." And she goes, and it just cuts to her on the couch, and she goes, "What?" And she looks over at her lawyer, and he's like, I'm suing, and he's already on the phone.
Yeah.
But something I do want to point out is good luck getting them maybe outside of Johnny and Bosch, getting them
Johnny will be easy. He's
Yeah,
already unioned and everything.
well, that's why, because there's the
Yeah, but say you have to clarify that because when you say it, oh, he'll be easy. You make it seem like he'll just do anything. Like
You probably would.
He doesn't say no to anything. He's like Nicolas Cage.
Hey, to be fair, he said I'll be in Power Rangers after the main cast leaves.
That would be a fun one, right? Just all the like super available actors or the voice actors for this, just to really pump up the actors. You got like Nicolas
They won't
Cage
do
in
it.
there. You got like Chris Pine in there. All these
You
actors.
know
are just,
for a
like,
fact they
$5
won't
I'll
do
act.
it.
Got it.
You know for a fact the anime voice actors would be like, no, it's the exclusive club. You can't come in here.
It's called Steve Blum too. Alright, I just throw all of them in here.
Freaking Troy
So-
Baker while we're at it. Why not?
That Steve Blum would be kind of a letdown because I absolutely despise that guy after what happened during COVID. He actually told people to tattle on their neighbors.
It sucked. I do have that same sort of sentiment. I liked him for a long time. I mean, he's Spike, and then
he's Roger Smith.
Yeah,
he's Tako as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then he was even Wolverine once, and then he just turned out to be a total boner.
Yeah. It's the same thing I look at like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like I know he's filming like some new movie in like New York now, but it's like now every time I see him, it's like screw your freedoms, and that's all I hear now. It's just like
I do give him
screw your freedom.
For, like, he said I'm sorry, and he's not like doubling down on it, but it's still like the damage is done, and I'm right there with you. It's like I can't go back after that.
And the fact that he said sorry like years later, it was like if he had said sorry, maybe like later out, it's like okay, that sounded bad. I didn't really mean to say it like that. Maybe he could have like softened it, but it's like
like
I was scared.
Right there, it sucks.
I didn't understand what I was actually saying. I just didn't want my family to die, especially the kid I had with the maid. Okay,
I had the flashbacks to my childhoods.
Look, I'm going through a lot right now, okay?
Arnold sitting down and doing the YouTuber, like, look at the camera, like...
He's got a dog that comes up on him. He's like, I don't know, buddy. I don't know how we're going to do this.
he does, like, the typical, like, YouTuber apology intro, like, hey, guys, it's me.
Right, you know. So, to usher us into the topic on screen... We have Caffeinated Wolf here, and he says, Keanu was the perfect cast for Shadow. Shadow already speaks with a monotone voice.
But why not bring the original voice actor for Shadow?
Well, he's not Googleable. That's the thing. He doesn't get a big bunch of Google results, and that's why Keanu was cast. My problem...
that is it.
Hey, Nerdigans, I think Dave Chappelle answered that question in the Chappelle Show scale a long time ago. Why? Because fuck him, that's why.
That's why.
That's why. But yeah.
That's the Pop Coffee sketch, isn't it?
Yep.
Right? Dude, the bit in that where it's like, always be like attentive to the customers, and it goes to the guy, and he's like, hell yeah, I suck toes. Hold on a second. Welcome to Pop Coffee. How may I help you?
And she's like, yeah, I want to speak to your manager. He's like, yeah, guess what, nigga? I am your manager. What's up?
He does like those steps pop out in his like apron. It's so good.
Yep.
So I think we have an old guy problem in Hollywood. And that's truthfully the issue here. Like Idris Elba does all right as Knuckles, right? But again, there's an old man coming out of a youthful character. And here's Shadow with a grandpa voice like, Shadow, Sonic, I'm gonna get you. And it's not gonna be a tickle fight.
Well, the problem with Hollywood on a multitude of levels, but one of the big problems is that the only likable actors that you have in the business right now are all like in their 50s and 60s because they're all guys that have basically been legacied in for like decades now. It's like, remember when Tom Cruise is still like the biggest guy in Hollywood a couple years ago when Top Gun and Mission Impossible was coming out, and he's like 61 now. And you're not really getting a whole lot of, like we said for years, with the whole thing with the MCU, they're not making movie stars anymore. They're just making actors that can fill roles. And the younger people who are out there are not really big names, and if they are big names, they're not really likable. And that's kind of the problem.
That's what I was bringing up about the Riverdale thing, because you and we bring that up all the time. Like there are no movie stars anymore. I think if I had to say anybody is in like development to be one, probably Timothy Chalamet, but that's it. Like that's maybe the only one I can make an argument.
He's a little too effeminate for me. Both of them. Both of them are. Bro.
He's not gonna make it. He's not gonna transform into Chris Pratt. No. He's not gonna transform into Chris Pratt.
I just like the phrasing, like not gonna make.
But he's not. He's not gonna transform into Chris Pratt. He's gonna hit 25, and he's just gonna be David Spade with a harder jawline. That's it.
But that's the thing, though. It's like. You got Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves here, like two masculine, likable actors. Then, like, your only equivalent to that in the younger generation is Timothy Chalamet and Tom Holland, who are basically glorified femboys. And it's like that's not going to get over with the mainstream audience at this point in time.
What movie is he in now that just pissed me off? Tom Holland
they're doing the Chris Nolan Odyssey. He's leading that one.
Yeah, he's playing
Homer.
No.
Or
the guy that goes out, Perseus.
Yeah.
Right? Is that who? Oh.
Odyssey. Main character. I'm writing a paper for 6th grade. Odysseus. Because we're stupid.
Because it's Odyssey. Of course. Anyway, he's playing Odysseus anyway. And that annoys the shit out of me because it's
me
really?
Too.
Tom Holland, that's who you think ancient Greece would trust with a fleet of ships around the world? Really?
This is the dude who comes back, sees his wife is getting hit on, and then goes like ham on all of them. No, it's not Tom Holland.
That's not Tom Holland. No, it's not.
Mhm.
He's
This
the
is
guy in
like
the
Tom
corner that
Holland
watches
playing
it all
Nathan
happen.
Drake.
Huh?
This is like Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake all over again.
No, it really
Yeah.
is. It's just this weird, scared kid with a frog in his mouth trying to, make us believe that he's this big buff, old school like hero.
And I said it many times before, but it took literally like the third act of No Way Home, that last Spider-Man movie, for me to actually buy Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Like he was in like 5 other movies up to that point, but it wasn't until like that last final act of that film where I'd be like, okay, now I can see him as Spider-Man. Because up to that point, I just thought him as Spider-Boy the entire time.
Well,
No,
and
which
just
is
a
completely
quick,
fair, yeah.
just a quick back one with the Power Ranger thing. Alpha Omega is a little bit behind here, and he makes a very valid point.
Alpha!
With the way the machine works right now, how this is going, if it's not AI that's going to play the Rangers, it's, he says here, they will be played by Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, and Crespin Freeman as the fat casting couch guy. Also
No, that's
Chris
what
Savage.
Nerdigans was saying, because everybody but like Johnny is they're like not in the unions or in the cliques right now, so they would be shoved out.
I've always never understood, maybe it's a union thing, but I never understood why like anime studios don't go after like old like 80s like action stars. It's like, you try to tell me you wouldn't watch an anime that was voiced by like Dolph Lundgren or like John Claude Van Damme or something like that.
That's a really good question. I
think it's
it's
because they're too expensive, to be honest with you. That's a situation. Is that like when it comes down to voice acting, you really want to make sure that you're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on the acting part. You want the hundreds of thousands of dollars on the animation.
Let me give a thought like question, because I don't even know how much this plays in, and maybe you guys do, but like you're right, Cider. Like, it is really expensive, especially when you got to like license their voice and everything. But consider the following: right before Bruce Willis went out with his dementia diagnosis, like he was doing all of those really, really, really cheap movies that, like, yes, he wasn't doing a lot, but they still had to pay him for his likeness with a few lines he did. Like, I think you could,
and all of that. You can also do one of those deals where it's like, okay, look, we're not going to pay you like that much up front for the role, but you got to understand that being attached to like this franchise or this character, like you can make money in like cons for like literally the rest of your life, right? It's like you can just be like, oh, I'm so and so from this anime and charge $50 for autographs. It's like there's other ways that you can kind of like back in the makeup for that deal too, without paying like out of the butt up front.
So something I do want to point out before I forget is that, like, you guys were mentioning how you have like old people coming out, voices coming out of like a young character's mouth. That's the story of the anime dubbing industry right now. That's what it is. You see it all the time. Like, for example, like with Freyrin and Sosudo Freyrin, like when you picture Freyrin and also when you hear her in the Japanese dub, she sounds young. It sounds like it matches the character. In the English dub, it's like an old woman's voice coming out of her mouth, and it is the weirdest thing. It's so disconnected, and it's so off-putting, and that's just how it's been for years.
She has this weird detached mother voice.
Yeah.
It's like, I may kill my children, but I'm the mom. That's the kind. She has like serial killer mom voice, and it just doesn't fit at all.
Did you guys catch this thread over the weekend where someone was playing? I guess it's a somewhat recent episode of like The Simpsons, where it was Marge and like Ned were talking, and obviously the voice actors for those characters are like legitimately like in their 80s now, right? And it sounds like they're in their 80s, to the point where even though it's the same character, like the same voice actor doing the character, it doesn't sound like the same character anymore, like at all. And it gets to a point where it's like
Marge in particular is like, Julie Krabner needs to just stop. Like, it is very hers is the worst.
But what else are you supposed to do when a show's been on for 40 freaking years and they won't end it? So it's like, you're just gonna keep it going.
I feel like if I did like a fly on the wall of any of the Simpsons voice actor cast like lives, it would be like the all around me are familiar, and they just like wake up every day, I'm Marge, and then like lay back down like, is this all there is left?
Yeah.
And it's not like Masako Nozawa, who like just is like in her 80s and she still sounds the same.
She also got lucky where she can do one character voice, and that counts as like 9 different characters. She can do Goku, then Goku Black, and then Goten, and then Gohan, and then like Kid Goku. So she doesn't really need to try other voices.
Yeah.
But she still does other voices in other series too, and
I
she's
know,
able to change her voice too, and it's insane what she can do.
So I think the thing with Shadow. So Andrew Caffeinated Wolf in the chat, he pointed out, this is what Shadow sounds like, and that's not wrong. I think what we're talking about here is that while he sounds like Shadow, that delivery, like Cider and Jacob were saying, he does sound tired. He does sound older. You can just sort of hear it in the inflection of the way he gives it. He sounds way more like, instead of being annoyed, like, oh, Sonic, get away from me, it's more like, oh, Sonic, like, I was just get off my lawn. I just want to like kind of sit here for a while. I didn't want to do anything.
To be fair, he does sound that's the exact same way in the John Wick movies too. So I mean,
right. But to that point, like Keanu did an interview today where they were like, what's up with John Wick 4? Would you do one? And he straight up said, like, I'm never going to say no, but I think my knees might. So I'm like, the dude's clearly like getting up there.
It's like, guys, I'm 60 years old. I can only train for these movies and keep my body in shape for so long. It's like, I'm not Tom Cruise. I'm not a psychopath.
I don't have Xenu energy being beamed into my life cells to make me younger every day. But I think that is where the disconnect happens, is that you have, I brought this up either on my own show or on the show last week, but Cider brought up, you have Idris Elba and you have Keanu, who are both older, actors, both trying to do a voice role. Knuckles, or Idris as Knuckles, comes off a little more acceptable. He works a little more because even though you hear Idris, you can tell he's putting on a voice. He's really trying to put on this like dumb brute voice that he doesn't really have a lot of in his other roles. Whereas Shadow as Keanu is just, it's John Wick, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, he does sound a little exasperated, a little tired. And when you put him up against Ben Schwartz, who is way younger and has way more energy, and then Colleen Klinkenbeard, who is the VA for Tales in the video games, it's just, it's not, he didn't do bad. It's not like we're going to go, oh, Keanu was the worst. Why did you cast him? It's just, you could have gone, what about like a Hayden Christensen would have been great. Or I don't even know any other English voice actors now because I stopped paying attention to all that stuff. I'll just be like a video game executive. Get Nolan North, Troy Baker. I don't know, one of those nerds out there. But so I think that's what it boils down to is the delivery, the performance over the fact that he's just old. He just sounds tired.
Well, this brings up Sakuramida's next statement here that really leads into what we're talking about. Is that Sakuramida says, "Hope the next movie is the start of the Shadow versus Black Doom trilogy." Now, I initially thought that that's where they were going to go by killing off Robotnik. Now, the problem is that Keanu Reeves, he's a voice actor, right? But he's going to still continue to gray in the voice. And the problem is that Shadow is not an old man. He's 50 years old, but he's been in cryo sleep. He's not an old man. And so the issue is you have this very old man character wanting to kill Sonic, wanting to fight Sonic. And so it sounds like an old grandpa is just pissed off with his grandkid. It's like, I'm part of how you enter this world, kid. I'm gonna take you out. And it feels so much. Whereas like Shadow is supposed to sound like this. He's supposed to have a weird, menacing undertone and a little bit of a nasal. And he's supposed to draw out his sentences in order to make it sound like
holding himself back all the time. Like, oh, just let me at him.
And Keanu doesn't deliver that. Keanu is delivering John Wick, who's trying to be like, I'm John Wick. What are you going to do about it? He's like an overly confident John Wick. And it's okay, right? But I understand why they did it. It's because of the Google SEO, and that really improves what they're doing with it. Whereas Hayden Christensen probably wouldn't have pulled as many SEOs or as many like, oh, wow, that guy. I know that guy. They got a lot of dads in the seat. I guarantee you, John Wick the Hedgehog entertained the dads. They were probably like, oh, yeah, he's got a gun. That's John Wick the Hedgehog. He's on a motorcycle.
You can also entertain dads at this point with the same marketing of like, it's Darth Vader, it's Anakin, or you know what though, that series, that franchise has like way less goodwill than John Wick nowadays. Maybe I just unconvinced myself. Don't listen to me.
Well,
forget everything I was saying. It's full shit.
Go ahead and go play Shadow the Hedgehog game, and you'll hear immediately what I'm talking about. He doesn't sound like an old man.
Oh yeah,
and that I get it. And what really got me was the claymation commercial where Keanu, I guess he was like in a hurry, and he says, "You chose the wrong hedgehog. He doesn't even teleport." And I was like, oh, Why did you just do another take? Holy fuck, that was so flat.
Like, please, we know you probably did at least 3. Just slice them up if you have to.
It was so bad. I was like, is that the best you got, man? It's claymation. Somebody spent 5 minutes on this. Golly. But it's one of those things.
I don't think it was Keanu like going in and being like, I'm going to do a subpar job. I don't think it was that at all. I think it's just that's how he sounds nowadays.
Well, I mean, like, if you go back to Bill and Ted, I mean, that was like the most expressive role he had. The rest of the time, he was playing like a cop or.
Like I said, if you remember, they did a Bill and Ted movie a handful of years ago, and like I said, the dude's 60 years old, and he sounds like it. You know, he ain't the whoa dude like said Ted and Ted from like 30 years ago.
I saw that clip.
Oh, dude, I gotta get up off the chair. Hold on.
I saw that clip of him doing the whoa dude thing and like the weird wide open space they were in. Yeah, from the new one, and I was like, oh wow, you're really old now, Ted. You're really old. But here's the thing, they missed an opportunity with that one. They should have done how Ted got his mojo back, so that the end of the movie is him getting the life back in him again, and somebody time travel stole it from him. Exactly. So he's like, all you got to do is get Keanu like a couple of Red Bulls, so 10 minutes of footage is him like jumping around doing a wild stallion thing before he needs a nap.
That's all the physical activity he needs to do for the year too.
I like the Shadow game. I'm sorry. It's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. It's so tilted to make Shadow into a god. I absolutely
but I
it.
still love it. Yeah. I kind of like
so dumb.
It does that thing where like if it had leaned away from it, the concept at any point and didn't fully commit, we would have been like, this is dorky. Like they're so lame. But because they just went full like we're going whack anime and you can't stop us. It's sort of like, it's ridiculous, but hey, they committed.
Yeah, it's right there. And that's one of the things that the ye olde Sonic used to do. And now they've got people, those consultancy groups on Sonic Frontier, by the way. I don't know if you know that or not, but not Sweet Baby Inc., but a clone of Sweet Baby Inc., if you will, was brought in for sensitivity writing and all this weird interpersonal identity politics
For a
stuff.
Sonic game?
And and that's why that game is so depressing. That's why everybody in that game's trying to get away from Sonic. If you remember, every time he rescues one of them, they tell him like, I gotta get away from you. They've got some story about like, I gotta go live life, Sonic. Even Amy's like, I need to go live my life. I want to see the world, Sonic. Sonic's like, yeah, you probably better, Amy. I'm going to die of congestive heart failure anyway. So, you know, it's just it's one of those things.
See, I didn't play that one because I'm tired of open world games. Like I don't have another 40 hours to commit when I have other things going on.
Well, yeah, like Robotnik's AI daughter is very interesting, but him watching her die is like, my brain. I was just, what am I watching? He's like standing there looking up and like his daughter's exploding in the sky. And I'm like,
it was like,
what is this?
It was like because like, it feels like they forgot to write the third act to a Sonic story. Cause that doesn't, you know, AI daughter, everybody being sad, her blowing up. That sounds like it could happen in Sonic Adventure 2. But it would also end with an amazing like surf rock track where Sonic and his friends remember like why they're fighting and they go Super Saiyan and everybody, you know, is radical again, even if somebody dies. But no, that game does just go like sad. Very, very, very sad.
It's just one of those ones that's kind of painful. But speaking of painful, we have RJ McGrady confessing that he was able to escape a screening of Red 1. He says, my white tank top is now grimy.
I'm so sorry.
Event.
I think, Jacob, are you the only one here who's seen that?
Yeah, I mean, unless you guys sat through that.
No.
You probably didn't because I told you not to. Yeah, that's
it's literally what I was about to say. I was like, the day it came out.
Yeah, it wasn't the pee bottles on. It wasn't the pee bottles on the set that turned me away, Jacob. It was you saying.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what The Rock does now. He pisses on the set of terrible movies in bottles. So.
Yep. But yeah, so that's a Christmas movie. If you want to go out and torture yourself, I'm sure you can find that somewhere.
It's actually not even the Christmas movie.
It's not even a Christmas movie. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I do want to remind everybody though that Gundam Wing Endless Waltz is a Christmas movie.
It absolutely is.
The opening says Xmas after Colony 196. So there you go. I can't show it here because Sunrise is very, very, very litigious over that because of many, many years of people posting their stuff. So, you're muted, Spencer.
Of course he is.
Whoops! I pushed it the reverse way. Any Japanese company, like, they are hard asses about that. You can't show jack.
Big time.
Well, we do have some.
Oh yeah, you've been running into that with like your streams with Nerdigans, like your Pokemon ones. It's like show one thing of Pikachu moving his arm, and you're in court.
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a number of companies that I've written down. Basically, if you show 1 second of your video on your screen, we will shut you down. We will block you worldwide. WWE.
Oh, like you can't have a black woman with an apron on, otherwise it's considered a mammy in Nintendo of Europe. It's just, it is the weirdest thing.
Hello, my money.
Hello, my honey. You jumped a little bit there.
Oh, I'm talking about because you mentioned Pokemon. It just made me think of the other weird ass censor.
Oh yeah, all the stuff all the leaks you were going through these last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
How overtly sensitive they all are. I mean, that's everything nowadays. Cider just told us they had what do you call it? Like intimacy coordinator for Sonic, whatever you want to call it.
Intimacy coordinator.
I couldn't think of the term, so I went with the other one.
I mean, for Sonic, you guys know of DeviantArt? The Sonic game out there.
But that's not from Sonic. Sonic only does it with human women. Okay, that is as Sega intended.
You get your disgusting filth out of here, Nerdigans.
It's Adam it's Sonic and Eve, not Hedgehog and Hedgehog.
Exactly.
Sonic, your hands are cold.
We only approve of bestiality here on this show.
Forget I said that.
I was
arrested a guy for modding a bunch of PS4.
Siler, sounds like his mic is dying.
Mine?
Yeah.
Is it still going out or?
Yeah, kind of.
It's cracking a little bit. It did sound like you were in the Superhuman Samurai spaceship there for a second.
Cool.
Oh, so that was on Cider's end. That wasn't on my end. I like disconnected and reconnected my headphones because I thought that was me.
But
it's not bad. Okay.
Yeah. No, his it's Cider. Yeah, you're fine, Spencer. For now.
For now, I know we'll boomer it up very, very soon. But
if you want to take your little celebration dance right now, that it wasn't you this time, this is probably the time to do it.
I'm not a boomer. I'm not a boomer. But so I haven't heard that story about a modder getting all of his stuff taken. But if that is true, it's insane. I would have to look into it before I comment on it, because that just feels wholly illegal to take all of your stuff. I mean,
it goes down to basically what they consider property rights to be. And we all know that certain people in the gaming community have a whole spiel about property rights, Marks. But yeah, so it seems like it'll be like one of those type of things. It's like who actually owns what? Because you can't just steal something that doesn't actually belong to you, but they're going to make the argument, well, this actually belongs to us because he doesn't technically own it.
They will. They'll be like, oh, he signed up for the account, and that means it's technically our PlayStation or whatever. And
well, if you had read your terms of service, sir.
Which, remember, guys, it's almost Christmas. Those terms of service that don't count, you can freely ignore them.
Yep.
And if they ever try to harangue you and say, oh, you signed it, your lawyer can just go, it is a legal definition that nobody is expected to read that.
It's like, seriously, like I wonder, like, at what day are they gonna like sneak something into the terms and service? It's like, once you agree to this, we will send police officers to arrest you within 20 minutes if you're agreeing, and you won't be able to do anything about it because you agreed to it.
Haven't you seen that South Park episode, the one where like Kyle gets an iPad and he signs?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of too.
We can make you a human centipede. Like, I'm honestly like certain if we look through all the terms we've all agreed to, there's something stupid in one of them that is like that.
And you see it right here. He agreed. He totally agreed.
You did it. You all saw it. Yeah, exactly. That's like the kid thing of like, oh, I dropped this. Can you pick it up for me? Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, look everybody, look, he's got a knife or whatever. Like he's got something dangerous. Teacher. And it's like, are you kidding me?
He's like, oh, I dropped my parking lot. Can you grab it for me? Oh, here you go. He's going to kill me. He's trying to kill me.
We've all been there. We all know that kid. It's just, man, you are not coming to my birthday party.
No. That is the ultimate dick move.
So Alpha Omega says, apparently he was selling the PS4s modded so you could keep downloaded games directly on the hard drive and bypass any ban removal attempts if the game became unavailable or if you were banned off PSN. Still an interesting case. I'd still have to look into that because I know that just the act of modding your PS4, that he can sell that all he wants and that's not illegal. It's the second the guy wants to, like the owner, the customer goes and gets those ROMs or whatever, or tries to use the service, that's where it gets weird. So definitely something to look into, Alpha Omega. I definitely will. Probably
because I'm thinking to myself too, like, because I've been to a few retro stores. I mean, Spencer, you're in Arizona, so you probably see this all the time. It's like people like those retro stores will sell modded, like old school video game systems that are clearly been modded. It's like,
I say, yeah.
Exactly, right. Just so they can upsell it for like $600 or some ridiculous number. Because like, there's no way that a regular average Nintendo 64 costs that much, even if you buy it like straight up. There's no way like whatsoever. But because it's like, oh, this one has upgraded memory and ROM and all this other stuff, and they have absolutely no problem doing so. So it's like, what was the difference between what this guy was doing versus what basically every other retro game owner shop does, like basically in general? You know what I mean? Like, what was the clear difference here between his actions and everyone else's?
And that's what Bowsette is saying. Modding is not illegal. Getting the ROMs is. So like, maybe did he possibly load up the hard drives with ROMs before he sold it? Maybe that was something. Who knows? And then Alpha Omega, you're also right. I'm pretty sure modding in general falls into being illegal or that gray area in Japan. Modding is not, but this is also where it gets really weird depending on where they were, the jurisdictions. This stuff gets like super, super messy. So as soon as I saw like the actual legal filing, I could tell you like, oh, this is what's happening, But I don't think any of us want to sit here and go through a legal filing. I had to do it last night. It wasn't fun, but we will look into that. It's definitely something to look into. And yeah, Bowsette says property rights in Japan are weird. Property rights, copyright, everything is very.
And whenever you say weird, you might as well just say non-existent. That's basically what you said.
No, like that's a big thing with Japan is they are just like, if you do a crime, you're basically going to jail. Even if you're accused, remember guys, they have a 99% conviction rate. So if
they're like Bizarro New York.
No, Adams wishes, but like if I went up to Nerdigans and I was like, hey Nerdigans, you stole a sushi packet. Even if she didn't do it, she's probably going to jail. Like that's how the ban rolls.
We're gonna club you in the head with a nightstick, and then we're sending you to jail.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to give them incentive to not do it again.
Yeah,
Sakura. Of course, you can always share something. That's what this show is for. RJ says, I'm not sure I go with purchase is not ownership, piracy is not theft, but it's looking more and more favorable. Obviously, as with most slogans, that base slogan is a little too general, but I think there is something to be said about the concept of if you're not going, if I'm going to give you money and then at any arbitrary moment you can say, no, I'm going to take it away from you. Well, then why, theoretically, I should just buy it and then I'll get a cracked copy of it that you have no, jurisdiction over. That's sort of another workaround you can do it. Obviously, that's a whole criminal legal discussion that I don't.
It's called gaming the system.
I know, but I don't know if I can do it as the top head here. I have to be like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom. And Nerdigans has to go.
It's like Vegas rules, right? It's like Vegas. Obviously you can't count cards. If you count cards, like they'll kick you out. Back in the day, you used to take you in the back room and beat the crap out of you, but they can't do that anymore because the corporations now own Vegas. So now they just like kick you out, right? But at the same time, the casino count cards. Like they count cards against you. But if you count cards against them, then all of a sudden you're the problem in the scenario. It's like, how does that work? So you can screw me over, but
you sound great now. Yeah, you guys can screw me over, but if I just try to get like $500, I'm a criminal. Alpha Omega says legal mindset went over that. Apparently, they don't charge unless the prosecutor thinks it's a complete W. That's not entirely true. What it is that they will, unless it is that is a big element of it, but it is also a legal system where they will make it fit, right? So like in that example I just had of Nerdigans, like, oh, Nerdigans, you like I accuse her of taking an extra sushi like roll thing from 7-Eleven. And she goes, oh, I either did it by accident or I was walking up to the counter to pay for it. Not what I intended at all. The lawyer will still go, okay, I can get her under this. She's gone. She's gone. Like that is part of the reason they have such a, the term is like a high trust society, is because yes, they are more respectful of each other and everything over there, but their police are also they're just going to go, oh, you littered, straight to jail. Like that old Fred Armisen joke from Parks and Recreation.
And now all I can think of is like two overzealous cops just like clubbing a poor Jewish woman on the ground like Rodney King. Say, drop the sushi, clunk,
clunk, clunk.
For me, the thing that comes to mind is the arc in Jujutsu Kaisen with the lawyer, in the calling game where he ends up getting his power and going into the calling game because he's so fed up with the justice system, because he's a defense attorney and the system works against him. Even though he had enough evidence to clear his client, court of public opinion said, well, fuck you.
Bingo. Yeah. And that is something that unfortunately happens. Yeah. It sucks. There should be a middle ground between us letting everybody go and them putting everybody in jail. We can find a middle ground.
Well, we do have some warnings here of how to stay out of jail from Pinochet's helicopter tour, member of the channel for 41 months. Thank you very much. Panel, please be careful having a fire inside your TV. Modern TVs are not made strong enough to properly contain fires. Just looking out for you all. Now, Tony also sent along.
Go ahead.
Pinochet's helicopter tours, member of the channel, sends $5 through. It says, in the mid-90s, my classmate sold me a UFO device he bought in Japan. Sat on top of the NES and copied games into 3.5-inch floppies. I had DBZ SF clones.
That's awesome. But goddamn, a floppy disk,
I legitimately have not used a floppy disk since 2004.
If even that. I don't even remember the last time I saw one. Like,
same.
I have a whole box of them.
Do you
like
still?
The multicolored ones. Yeah, because I'm one of those guys that fell in love with the Y2K aesthetic with like all that see-through hypercolor stuff. And so I collect it. It's one of those weird NPC collector things that I do. So.
Computers aren't even made to like operate floppy disks anymore. So you have to like go to like almost the dark web, or like they call it eBay, and like find something that will even like use one of those things.
It'll be like a floppy drive that hooks into like a disk drive that hooks into another hard drive that then you have to hook into like your computer, and then it'll work.
So Sakuramita points this out, like anime glorified the floppy disk and the mini disc. Like that was the future, where little 3.5-inch little teeny tiny disc things were going to be everything everywhere forever. We were never going to have digital media.
Yeah, I mean thumb drives effectively killed the floppy disk. It was basically like, oh yeah, you could put all your stuff into there, and it's like 32 gigabytes of crap. So it's like, okay, we don't need floppy disk anymore, and then that's what killed it.
But they were beautiful. I follow this account on X called Obsolete Sony, and he's constantly posting this stuff that like these like near pornographic pictures of these early 2000s Sony tech, and I'm just like, oh, it looks so good compared to the stupid monotone stuff we have today. If it's not gray, it's white. If it's not gray or white, it's black. That's it. Even the cars have collapsed into that.
I got legit offended, Cider, because I saw like a retweet on my feed, and it was like, oh boy, new term just dropped. I was looking for this, and it was like, it was something like blob design or like color blob, and it was meant. And I don't remember what the definition was, but the example they gave was the old IMAX, and I got so offended, like the colored ones that were rounded, and I was like, that's not just crap. Like that was a thing. Like screw you. Like I got really mad. I can't even express it now, but I was just like, I hate you. That's cool. Leave me alone.
Remember when everything was transparent?
Yes.
I want it back. I genuinely want it back. That stuff was so cool.
Remember your transparent Game Boy Colors back in the day? Remember when every cool kid in the world had either the atomic purple or the atomic teal?
Or the atomic teal, yep.
I had the atomic purple Nintendo 64 controller.
Ooh, you were lucky. Like very. I remember when they released all of that set of translucent ones, like the blue one and the orange one. Those were so cool.
Yeah,
but
I wanted the orange one so bad.
I did too.
I wanted the teal 64.
Oh yeah,
so
I remember
bad.
these.
On the actual system.
Yep. Oh, see, look at all this
So
stuff.
this had this had a TV tuner, and it
Yeah,
had a
it did.
Wi-Fi
Yep.
portable
It did.
Wi-Fi head on it.
I've held it in my hand. It's very weird.
Amazing. You had the old red Sony TVs that came factory red.
Yeah, you remember like all those old TVs from like back in like the 1990s that weighed like 50 pounds, and it's
Yep.
like, you know, you move the TV to the corner of your house, it's staying there for at least a year. Like, no one's even attempting to move it until like the beginning of the
Remember
year.
remember the TVs
guys,
that you could get that were like built into like the furniture that
I
you could
remember
have?
those. Yeah.
So this
What
is
do you got?
crazy. This
Oh, the
guy,
original,
this
yeah.
guy found a PlayStation Nintendo combo machine, the only prototype of its kind.
That's awesome.
Here she is,
This is what they were making FF7 for originally.
the PlayStation Nintendo Super Disc.
And then they got mad at each other and said, no.
Not fake, not made by some Russian dude.
Look at the ports. The like PlayStation
Yeah, out
controller
here.
ports in the front.
It's a cartridge, real cartridge. Here's what it says. It
Real
says
cartridge, no real label.
October 6, 1992, and some Japanese writing. Sorry for the shitty camera work. You can see in there.
It says very fake game. Only white
Yeah,
idiot
right?
would believe this. That's what it says.
No. So back here. What's up, guys? User.
Well, pause it real quick, Cider. I saw somebody online, like I saw a tweet the other day where somebody shared the RG or the RYB cables, whatever they used to be called, the aux cable, auxiliary cables, and they were like, kids these days don't know the struggle. Like we really had it like tough. Being a little facetious, but also like playing on that nostalgia. Everybody was like, "Are you retarded? They were color coded. What struggle? That was easy."
But they made a joke in the new Sonic movie where they were trying to like upload like some kind of like, you know, drive, and it was like, oh, just blow on it, that'll make it better. It's like the joke was fine, but then they had to like acknowledge the joke, which immediately took away from it. It's like, you know, if he had just blown it, then it worked, and then like no one said anything, it would have been funny, and like people would have got it, and then it's like, oh yeah, 90s reference, clap.
Yep.
And it's like, okay,
No,
and
yeah,
now you
that's
ruined
what. If he'd have just like blown on it and been like, that won't work, and then it like slides in and it does, great. But he like blows on it, that won't work. What is this? Some forbidden 90s like technique? And it's like, okay, you don't need to lampshade it.
It's like we got it. Like,
yeah,
we got it.
So this right here. So Bowsette points out that the vid is when they originally found it and it didn't work. They went to Ben Hatch and he got it to turn on. So that's like finding like stuff from the Titanic.
I wonder where he found it. Oh,
it's in his dad's attic. It was in his dad's attic.
Wow. Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, he must have been like a programmer or something.
Or picked it up at a yard sale, dude.
Or
I'm not
something
kidding
like that,
you,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, it's got all kinds of crazy ports.
And there
on
was
this
a
thing.
game cartridge, and it didn't have a title, but it had my name on it, and I put it in, and there was no screen, but there was a save file that said Cider Dead.
Yeah.
That's how all those stupid stories go.
So it was that's crazy that it had that is and it's a SNES controller with Sony PlayStation branding. That is crazy.
Somewhere out there is a build of Final Fantasy VII that runs on this technology because that's what they were originally building it for. That's crazy.
This account that we're watching this stuff through right now is called Obsolete Sony out here on X. It's just Obsolete Sony. Absolute gem of an account. Oh, it's one of those things where like,
if you're looking for something to buy on eBay, this is where you go.
Look at that! I want that.
It's just
slim it down a little bit, and oh yeah.
You even got these ye olde teletypes, you know.
No,
it's
look
just
at that joystick on the side, dude. That's so funny.
Yeah, here you go. All the different
PS1s.
variations of these machines. Yep.
I only remember the white, the gray, and the black.
Right. Then they had the Discman.
I never got that one. That one's sick.
Mm-hmm.
I had the circle one.
The one, yeah,
the
PS1, the PS2 memory cards.
Yep. I had a bunch of those see-through ones.
Like I don't know you guys, just spend a minute here just going through. Like this is a real PlayStation ad, by the way. This is real. Okay, original Wipeout.
This is like what we were looking at last week. Yeah, exactly. It's perfect.
It's one of those things, and it's like you just have to ask yourself, like, what happened? Here's Sony demonstrating a ye olde VR system back in the 90s.
Give humanity credit for this at least. We're great at making just useless bullshit. Like we're absolutely just
I don't even know what this means, but I want it.
That feels like an AI generation, even though that technology
Here. Now I don't know if you can get a see-through red PS5 controller, but man,
if
it
they
would be pretty cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna buy one because I don't have one, but I would.
You got this one. We're like, you could change the face of Johnny Somali now.
So
then there's this, and I'm just like,
I miss those. I want that so bad, even though I know
I don't even know what half that does. It just
that's for home theater stuff. Yeah, that's all home theater.
Yeah, that's home theater stuff, and then some of that stuff, if you know what you're doing, you can use it to do like music loops and effects on it, and that's why I'm just like,
there's nothing better than like going to like a Best Buy and like going to like watch a movie in like that surround sound section of the Best Buy, just going to yourself, I'm never going to be able to afford this in my life.
My friends and I in high school, we used to go to our local Fry's and just like sit and watch a movie and be like, okay, that was a good hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Legally they can't kick us out.
Right, exactly. Hey, we bought a drink from the food court, you can't touch us.
Yep.
You work for me. I pay your salary.
Is it this phone?
Sony
Omega?
I thought it was a Walkman. I didn't realize that was a phone.
This is a Sony Ericsson.
Do you remember I remember I wanted so badly. I wanted the Sidekick. Is that what it was? The one that like you pushed it up and it had the keyboard underneath it?
Yeah, the T-Mobile Sidekick, because it had like an anime character.
Yep, I wanted that phone so bad.
I'm about to say, remember two-way pagers? They were to replace like the regular beepers, and then they went elite, like almost like 2 years later.
Very fast, yeah.
We have Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, member of the channel, for $2 here, saying FF7 blindfold and a cigarette ad, still my favorite. Yep,
that's one of my favorite ones. The there's another one that I tried to look for last week, but I couldn't find. But it's it's a guy playing like a Mega Drive or an SNES on this big TV in the background. And there's this woman like frustrated in like lingerie in the foreground. And she's like, he used to want to play with me and now he can't, or he used to like he couldn't keep his hands off me. Now he only wants to play with like Sega or something. And I'm like, that's perfect. Like, I like that one.
Whoa.
I remember that screen.
Wow, that's crazy. Now this,
I remember
the guy who posted, the guy says he's still waiting for the day someone drops actual photos of the Canada Day PS3, because apparently this, nobody ever revealed that it was a thing. So
my friend, back when we were teenagers and we had the disposable income, one year we were able to go to Comic-Con and actually get in line for a signing with Kojima, like Hideo Kojima. So he was able to secure like the day before. There's a limited edition gunmetal PS4 with like a Yoji Shinkawa like sketch on it. And so he has that with a signature on the controller, the box, the console, and a copy of MGS4. And I'm just like, I cry whenever I think about it. He's like, this thing's putting my kid through college.
Look at this. This is 2003 PS2 Mobile Suit Gundam Hyakushiki Gold Pack straight up.
Look at that.
Yep. It's just such a remarkable.
That's cheating.
It literally
cheating.
Yeah,
cheating.
I know.
I was gonna say you literally just need like the meme that just says I will never financially recover from this.
Right? There's just I post all the time and reply to this account. I'm like,
you do, yeah.
The colors. We just need to bring back the colors. If they look at this. That PS5 controller is so cool. Much more attractive looking like that. And you can even ask an average 11-year-old today that.
Another thing that this is just showing is that, creativity really just died like 15 years ago. Like it just feels like we haven't, Like there's only a handful of people, like I said, it's the old guard, the people who have already been doing it for a while that still have like a creative artistic vision. Everything else is just so bland and intact now.
It's Dave Grohl, guys. Not
For
really
a
down with fighting
for a second
games.
there, I looked over here because I got a message, and I looked back, and I was like, "What the hell? What am I doing up there?" And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, I have to look closer."
Dave Grohl.
So I read this thing actually that I've been mulling on the last couple of days that is actually about this, and it's like, why does so at some point after this era, we made the choice to go back to everything is matte, everything is closed off, we can't see inside. And somebody I was reading, he was talking about like what we're seeing was this sort of we got scared, right, by seeing all of the internal stuff. That was like a promising future. We were embracing that technology, but because it became so commonplace, seeing that circuitry and all of that stuff would subtly, unconsciously signal like, you don't get this, you don't understand this to most people. And so they went, oh, we can't essentially like scare off the apes, so let's hide everything again. And it's like, by hiding it, it makes us ashamed of pursuing that tech future. And now we're in the place where all of our cars look like it's 1978 again. And not in a good way.
Not only that, but like I said, like in the early 2000s, it was like we were making technology for stuff that we didn't even know was going to be around a year later, but we just made it. Like that was just what we did.
And we put a bunch of crazy colors on it. But this is from the mid 90s, and what this does is it plays a record.
Is that
vertically.
real? Holy
real.
crap! I want that.
Yeah, it hasn't ever been in reproduction since, but it's called the PSF9. And this is what it does. You put your disc in this way, it grabs it, and it plays it upright like that. Yep. Absolutely gorgeous. Then there was this. And I have to tell you, this is probably the most Japanese thing I've ever heard. So check this out. In 2001, Sony released an adapter allowing the PlayStation to connect to the mobile phone network services in Japan.
So good.
Just the most Japanese thing. Like, how they were obsessed with flip phones in the early 2000s. Man. And they were like, oh, you like a flip phone? Now you can use flip phone to play PlayStation.
And connect to internet too. Yeah, no, it's like, I want that. I want that thing.
Look at all this. This is a mood. Like when you have this on display in your house, you bring a chick back, you show her that, she's like, oh, I get you. I know who you are. I understand.
My brother had I think he still has it, the blue PS2 controller, and I think he has the memory card still too.
So your brother's rolling in it right now is what you're saying. Just can't keep the ladies off it.
These ridiculous machines, man.
Jacob, have you seen that movie yet? Y2K? Is that even out yet?
It's out. I don't think it's in theaters anymore because no one saw it, but it did come
out. Did you see it? Did you catch it before it went?
I haven't seen it yet, and I'm debating whether I'm even going to add it onto my list.
I mean, as your friend, I will say you don't have to because I know what you're going to react to it. But as a critic, I guess that's your job. But I was just going to ask, like, I feel like that movie would try to emulate everything we're seeing here and just like get it wrong. Like it just It doesn't feel like that movie's genuine.
That's the thing, though. It was like that viral, what was it, clip from that TV show where it was like, oh, this is high school 2004. Yeah! And then like everyone who actually went to high school 2004 was like, this is not fucking high school 2004. Like, dude, we have like, you can go to YouTube right now and find high schools from 2004. How would you screw this up this badly? Like, no one was listening to Hillary Duff in 2004. Are you nuts?
If you were listening to Hillary Duff, you were either like 8 because she was on Radio Disney, or people were making fun of you because it's like you're listening to Lizzie McGuire, girl, go away.
I don't know if it was like a full episodic game thing because like the GameCube ran on DSL at its best, but I think it may be like there was some type of text adventure associated with it. Maybe.
So actually, this is way before all of this. This is actually a CDI thing. Where you used to be able to do a very marginal connection to like your service provider, and every week, or I think it was like weekly, they would have a new level for you to play, but it was like live. You had to like turn on your game live, get on, and then this new level's available for you to play, and it's super fun. And then next week, new one comes in. They did it a little bit in Japan. I know there is a Mega Man Battle Network they did. like 2006 where it was an online log on to your TV during the episode and get a new level, new game entirely. It's pretty cool. It obviously didn't catch on. Maybe, might be kind of cool to bring it back, but I think we've already gone way too far into the era of like on-demand stuff where if you said, oh, come play at this specific time, a lot of people are just going to be like, why? I can't do it.
Now, Alpha Omega went over to eBay and found the F9 and said it's over $1,000. So if you want an F9, like what we've got up on screen now, it's over $1,000. But I'll tell you, you'll probably be the only fella that's got one.
I'm kind of surprised it's that low. I genuinely would have thought if it's that cool,
Japan it's the only one that's on there, and then you got to be like, okay, is this like really the thing? I mean, it is flying in from Japan, so it's like, am I gonna get screwed over here? It's like, what's going?
Like I open it up, it's just a bag of dog food or something.
Yeah, just a box of rocks.
No, it's like a box of like forks, and I call them back. They're like, "Oh no, we give upgrade PS7. Congratulations."
So here's the Ericsson with a sliding keyboard.
Yeah, see, like I wanted a phone like that so bad back in the day.
Same. I wanted one of those so bad. I
had
an
the
Ericsson,
LG.
I had an Ericsson flip phone, and then I had an LG keyboard phone, but it was like it wasn't like the full on big full screen one. It was like one of those.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
I think it was a Metro PCS one. If I remember correctly. I had Getro PCS for like a couple of years, and then my mom got like the really good family T-Mobile deal.
I haven't heard that since I was like a kid in California too. That's a deep cut. That's incredible, Nerdigans.
Yeah, Getro POS. That's what.
So the situation here, like, remember these old thick PS2s?
You mean PS3s? I had one of those.
Sorry.
They're the better ones.
Yes, they are.
Compatible.
One of my high school girlfriends had this, and like I used to have to like fight her off to play Onimushu on her PS3, and then like you eventually end up in the makeout session. Finally, you go back to playing the game again.
Oh, I know that.
Onimushu.
I think we all know that feeling where it's like, okay, babe, like I know you want to. Okay, fine, but I want to get back to this game.
I know you want to make out sesh, okay? I'll give it to you. Like, gosh.
No, I know. I feel like such a dork like making that sentiment, but we've all been there.
Beautiful. But I do want to remind everybody that we are going to be closing down here in the next 10 minutes or so. We are going to send you guys over as a raid over to Jacob's Barroom Podcast when he fires up here. Ooh. So it'll be up just a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, my show doesn't start for like another 30 minutes. So just letting you know, just Chris.
Sorry. Another 30 minutes.
Put up a wait screen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jacob can go. We can hang out, and then we can throw you over there.
Well, I'm just enjoying like looking at all this Sony stuff. I'm sorry if it's boring anybody. I love this. This is just the most
like you put anything in translucent plastic and I instantly want to buy it. Like I'm just like okay, give it to me. I don't even care.
I remember this PS1. One of my friends had it, and I played on it all the time. I played Spiral all the time on it, and I think I played Final Fantasy VII on it too.
Wow. We do have a $1.99 here from Top Dog, and he writes, Genie question, when the woke SJW take over? Not sure what a genie question is.
I think it means genuine question. I'm gonna assume that he meant to say genuine there, that you got screwed over by autocorrect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like a genuine question, when did the woke SJW take over? Well, it seems to be around like 2012, Obama's second term. It really the media really got emboldened by that and really just went at it with
I think everyone started to notice it it was basically Obama's last term right before Trump's first term, somewhere within that time frames when people started noticing, oh, wait a second.
Yeah. So okay. I can actually I think I recounted the story before pretty recently, but if not, I'll do it again for really quick. I know when this all sort of kicked up, and it was like I believe Cider said like 2012, nearing the middle of Obama's second term, because I remember that is when it was starting up, 2011, 2012, because in 2012, I was still working at University of California, Irvine. I had just graduated, but I was still working in like their event services, department. I was like their head person, whatever. And near the end of my time there, in June 2012, the student council of the school came up to me and said, hey, we just all took a vote as a student council. Can you remove the American flags that are hanging in all the common areas, because we think that that's going to make our what do you call it, foreign exchange students, it's going to make our foreign students really uncomfortable. And
then you were like, you're Asian, get away from me, nerd.
Well, first of all, they were white, and second of all, I just went, no. Like, it became this big blow up because they were like, we're the student council, we voted, you do it. And I went, you are the student council, you're just a club as like everybody else. If you can get the chancellor to come tell me to do it, then we can talk, but I'm not doing that. So I know it was 2012 because I had never heard something so dumb, and then it just went worse from there.
Much worse, unfortunately.
And then, yeah, once Trump like threw in his candidacy, so what is that, like 2015, late 2014? That's when they sort of took it as like that was like their defensive move for some reason. They had this new ideology of the woke, the neoliberalism, and instead of like sort of focusing on it and working on it how they wanted, they went, oh, throw it at Trump, this will get him. And that's where we came into this, and now it's just everybody does it to ding back and forth, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is. It's a really cool magazine cover. You're absolutely right. Yeah,
these were back in the day. I also love a lot of these covers are done by like really famous like guys who are famous comic artists now, like Gerardo Sandoval, Adam Warren, the guy who does Empowered, Mike Reningo, Weirnigo, he used to do a couple of covers for them. It's a nice little cool microcosm of when video games used to be more like less corporate, I guess is the best way to put it, right? You could have art like, oh, I'm the official PlayStation magazine, just get some fan art. And nowadays it's like, oh, well, we'd have to pay them, and there's contracts and there's legal, and what if we reuse it? And it's like, wow, this is kind of lame now. Like, this is not fun. And of course, we all see the corporatization of everything else with DLC and microtransactions and intergalactic, the entire thing. So we must return. That's what I want.
So Pinochet's helicopter tours, member of the channel, says scientists trace the SJW invasion to when Glee or High School Musical came out, and the phrases like problematic started to surface. And that's true. They were doing a lot of social engineering through that show, especially in the last couple of seasons. One of the actors like offed himself too, that like before the show ended. So that goes to show you like what was going on there. They weren't really paying attention to them. Those were young fellas too. Those weren't like, Power Ranger actors in their mid-20s. They were like very much teenagers, very much early 20s, 20 years old, So
and I also want to note there's this like, yes, a lot of these shows. So here's the thing. You can go back and you can watch pretty much any show from the past, and you'll find a lot of instances of words like that the neo left likes to use, right? Like problematic or ick or yikes or whatever. You guys know what I mean. The problem, what happened was those words used to be used normally, right? Like, oh man, that's a really problematic thing you did. Like, oh, you just like swore in front of grandma at the funeral. She's like, that's kind of problematic.
Problematic is something as a word that we use to describe things that may blow up. It's
right,
like,
exactly. But then all of this language gets weaponized to, oh, that's problematic. Oh shit, is Jacob going to be mad at me? Did I say like something racially insensitive? No, you said that you liked, Usher's song, Yeah, and you don't know his relationship, and it's just like, oh, so you just weaponize it to get me in a gotcha. So like that's something to be super careful of when looking at old media. Is remember, a lot of the media comes first, and then things get taken from it and blown up into ways that they can use it. So like the term shipping, right? Nerdigans, like back in the day, shipping was super normal. It was like, oh, I like these two characters together. Nerdigans and I could have a talk, and she'd be like, Spencer, who do you like together in Final Fantasy VII? And I go, you know what? I ship Cloud and Tifa, and it was totally normal. But now, if I call you a shipper, Nerdigans, that comes with 700 different layers of like, oh, you're not. If I use the word shipper, that means you.
What kind of a shipper are you?
Right? Yeah, it's this and that.
Are you a
Gary
shipper? Are you a Yuri shipper?
And it just like
Shipomania is running wild, brother.
Shipper war.
That art I drew of my favorites kissing.
What you gonna do?
Captain America shipper war.
I'd rather watch that than New World Order.
I blame Tumblr for that. Tumblr really just,
Tumblr
like,
is
fucks everything up.
Well, Tumblr, what, like the main power base that came from Tumblr was there were like probably a dozen adult like users who knew what they were talking about, and then there were like the other adults kind of saw that they could weaponize all of these like this openness and this feelings talk to essentially like groom and manipulate.
The CIA, you mean?
CIA, Sci Guy IA, whoever you want to blame, like for this round. It's grooming all over the place.
But before we get closing out here, Sakura Mita did send us send a meme over, and specifically wanted to make sure that you see it, Spencer. So here we go. And it says, "Who killed the Power Rangers?" The kid says, "It's Chaim Sabam, Nickelodeon, Simon Bennett, and Hasbro." Janet, "Who killed the Power Rangers?" Sailor Moon. Your foster parents are dead.
Your foster parents are dead.
And then we got this other one. He says, "What's a Kamen Rider?" The kid says, "It's a bug superhero who does karate and rides a motorcycle." Janet, what's a Kamen Rider? You mean Ant-Man? Your foster parents are dead.
Your foster parents are dead.
So you go.
That was one thing I really liked about Ant-Man's like MCU suit is he was pretty writery.
Yeah.
And now and they kind of never I think it speaks volumes, Cider. They've never really like improved on it. They've like given it like darker textures and stuff, but it's always been like the same suit. And I'm like, yeah, because a writer suit always hits.
I think if they tried to do anything more with it, it would start bordering into Toei's copyright, and they would actually be in trouble because he's right there. He is right there for Kamen Rider Ichigo.
Yeah.
He is right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's that. You know, we got Comic Stat here for the first time. Welcome aboard. We do this on Wednesdays usually, but this is a Christmas one, so we're doing this Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be doing it at 6 o'clock tomorrow as well, but we might be running a little longer than this one. We will be watching a movie, whether you like it or not. We're watching a movie. And it's Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And that is a public domain movie, and we will be watching
Actual kino for you guys.
Right, and we will be talking over it because we're those kind of people. Or I am. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to talk over it. Screw you if you want to hear the movie. It's 100 years old. I literally downloaded it from the National Film Archive, okay? I literally downloaded it from there.
I put in the work, man.
I'm here. But yeah. Yeah. So we had this sad thing to talk about too. And I say it's a sad thing. I'm not trying to be dismissive. This is Frankie from One Piece's
this is sad.
VA's
This is very, very sad.
sign off. And so if you don't know, Nerdigans, you know the details about this. I'm not exactly familiar with what he's afflicted with.
He has some serious health issues. He's been having problems for a long time, and he said earlier this month that he didn't feel like he could voice Frankie anymore. He's been voicing Frankie for what, like 2 decades now?
At least.
And I think the video is, I sent you this tweet has the video, but what he did when he passed the torch was so legendary. If you watch the
hold on. But before we go forward, because I do want to show that, I do want to talk about that, but to give sort of a background, so what he has, we do not know what specific illness the old Frankie VA had. For a long time, he has been visually deteriorating whenever he's been in making live appearances, whether it's to promote a movie or at Jump Festas. He's been seeming more and more tired. And then in October, or so earlier this year, during the I forget which specific part of the arc it was, but if you guys go back and watch this year's One Piece anime episodes, you can sort of notice around like August, Frankie starts sounding different. He starts sounding slurry. Like it not bad, but you can sort of see like, oh yeah, Luffy, I'm super. It becomes like, oh yeah, Luffy, I'm super. And it's like, it's still there, but it's weird. And then in October, he had like a giant health scare that, if you guys know Japan, they don't really detail it. They just say we had a health scare, we had a problem. So after that, he decided to go. And and we'll see as Nerdigans walks us through this, he does not look really good right now. This was probably for the best.
Yeah. So I think we should watch the footage before he does this, before we read the farewell speech. Because, and also when
Footage?
did the tweet I send you not have the footage?
No, it's just a screenshot. It's just a still image of the fella.
Oh, dang. So what he, let me see.
Nerdigans, you talk, I'll find it on Twitter. I'll send it in the back.
Okay, so let me read what he said then real quick. Let me just pull this up. So first of all, his successor, though, if you want to pull that up real quick, and while I get this, it's very interesting what's happening with his successor, because he's the first foreign-born voice actor to be in One Piece, which is very, very interesting in terms of the Japanese cast. And he's mixed. He's half German, half Japanese, if I remember correctly.
Correct. And born in Germany, but then came back with his parents when he was like a month and lived there.
Yeah. So basically what the message from Jump Festa is for him, what he said was, thanks everyone for showing up and everything you've done. And big shout out to Toei Studio and all the amazing staff. And huge thanks to Ichiro Oda for creating the masterpiece that is One Piece. And by the way, Oda, for this past week's chapter of One Piece, if you saw the color spread, it was dedicated to him. They did it.
Wasn't that the one that's hanging up behind him?
It's Frankie. Yeah, I think it is. It's Frankie, like as like a plane or whatever, and
or like a boat.
Yeah.
We
and they're
watch
flying
the
it.
video, Nerdigans. You'll see. I noticed it. It's on the Jump Festa stage. That's like the big banner they have when he's on. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, let me first bring this. Thanks to everyone tuning into the stream, and got to give it up to for my awesome friends for making it here despite their busy schedules. Big love to my amazing wife and my wonderful family. We're all Nakama, and Luffy's voice actors in tears. Yeah, he was crying during the whole thing. It was heartbreaking. I'm gonna keep living life on the edge, and if you ever need me, I'll be back. This whole thing is so sad.
Yeah, see, Nerdigans, isn't that it? That's the color spread.
Yeah, that's the color spread.
Yeah.
Do have to hop out just real quick here before you guys get let go, but yeah, you guys. So I'm gonna set up for the bar room here, so I'll see you guys over there in a little bit. Thank you guys for having me for a Christmas Eve episode, and you guys went a lot more nostalgia crap that we got showed up. I got a whole bunch of other things lined up in about 15 minutes, so see you guys there.
And we'll send everybody over there. We will see you, amigo. Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the chat over there.
For those of you that don't know, those are supposed to be like Frankie's Speedo.
Yes.
And he has Frankie's Speedo. It's just so epic.
Like the okay, good. Yeah, Cider pulled up the text of that tweet too. Like how to explain to someone who doesn't watch One Piece, I'm crying over a man leaving some underwear on a stage, right? Like but it was fantastic. Yes. And then you saw the bit right before, right, Nerdigans, where he teaches the new voice actor how to do super.
Yeah, that was so amazing. And as the message said, that Luffy's voice actor was crying like the entire time this was happening.
Well, because that guy's been Frankie's VA since the very first like Water 7 episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like 400 years ago, so I'm not surprised.
But yeah, Oda, something that happens every year as well is Oda's message. Annual message, and he had a message for Yao as well. He said, Yao-san, I'll never forget my memory of the day you took me to the Kababakish bar. I think I read that right. Thank you for being Frankie for so long, and no matter where you go, you'll always be our Nakama. And Subaru-san, I'm looking forward to having you on board. And Subaru has a really good range of characters. He voiced Toto in he voices Toto in Jujutsu Kaisen, and like Subaru in or not Subaru, I'm sorry, Nifumi in Rising of the Shield Hero.
Okay, but everybody is forgetting his most famous and most popular, and I'm really just setting this up because it's a joke only me and maybe Cider will like. He was also the voice of Ninja Man in Kaku Ranger.
Snyder's probably really happy about that right now.
Wherever he is. But this, if he's not here, it's One Piece time.
No,
so,
I was
yeah.
eating pie. I love it. It's great. I'm sorry. I was eating pie. I don't
it's
want to
okay.
eat pie on camera. It's lovely. Thank you.
And then we get into this. Hello to everyone at Jump Festa. Ichiro Oda here. Physical, primitive, and glamorous. I love Oda's freaking letters. I think we'll cover Sorachi's letter tomorrow because Sorachi's letters are just amazing. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the anime, and it's been a whirlwind of events from the opening of the Harajuku shop to the launch of the One Piece base app. And before you know it, 2024 is coming to an end. I extend my deepest gratitude to our large team of staff. Fan Letter was so good too. It was. If you haven't seen Fan Letter, go watch it. I think it's free on YouTube right now, if I remember correctly.
Oh, you're talking about the one they just did, right? Like the filler episode.
Yeah,
so good. It's so
beautiful.
Damn good. You don't you can go watch it on its own. Like you do not have to know the rest of it because it's like episode 1355. You don't need to catch up. You can just go watch 13 because it's like a recap episode.
Yeah. But what stood out the most for me was my first visit to South Africa, where the live action series is being filmed. And as I reported earlier, I was moved by the love the cast and crew have for One Piece, and I was filled with a renewed sense of resolve. And something that I don't know if you guys saw or not is that the actor for Luffy in the live action, he learned Japanese just to talk to Oda, which is I thought was badass. People ask me, why are you putting so much effort into a live action adaptation when One Piece is already popular around the world? Yes, it may be quite known internationally in the manga and anime realm, but if you're told that there's a bigger playground out there in the world, wouldn't you want to go and explore it? I like the way Oda thinks, and that's actually why live action anime and manga adaptations are happening, is because of that for the most part. That's why I'm putting
for the most part, what? Because they the creators want to like play in different mediums.
Well, yeah, and expand, and get a bigger audience. That's why that's why these live actions are happening, because there's that mentality that anime is only for kids. Well,
I mean, yeah, you guys hit it at the very top of the show.
Yeah. That's why I'm putting my all into everything: the manga, the anime, the films, and the live action. Yeah, there's based on like a Toei report that someone posted. Yeah, there's probably going to be another One Piece anime film coming.
Well, I mean, okay, let's be honest, Nerdigans. They're going to keep making those until the heat death of like the universe, just like with Dragon Ball.
But Dragon Ball, I'm not sure if a movie is going to come out for that. They're focused on Daima right now. Daima is extremely popular, so I don't.
Someone's crackling here.
Is it me?
It's a lot of crackling, and I don't think it's me.
Might be me.
Okay. And so the team is lining up various projects and announcement for One Piece next year. Please look forward to the anime series resuming, which is going to be in a different time slot. It's going to be in a late night time slot, and it's coming back on April 6th.
How much later? Because it's in 7 o'clock right now, isn't it?
It's 11:15 p.m. Japan time.
That's so late. That's really late.
Mm-hmm. Everyone was shocked by that. That's insane. There's a lot of, and if you're caught up on One Piece, there's a lot of dark stuff happening in One Piece, so it's probably a good thing that's going to be in a later slot. But then again, Bleach is in a late time slot, and it's still like they toned down some of the stuff in Bleach, but like the sexual stuff in Bleach, and cut like the Orihime scene.
What was the others? There was another show that you and I were just talking about earlier where they were like, oh yeah, we're doing the anime adaptation, but we're like toning it down.
Oh, Takapi's Original Sin.
Yeah,
I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed about that.
I don't even understand why they're doing it. Like it didn't say, at least from what they communicated, it didn't sound like there was any forcing of it. It just sounded like they were doing that of their own accord. And I'm like, why?
Because for those of you that don't know about Takapi's Original Sin, Takapi's Original Sin came out a few years ago. It's Tizen 5's debut series, and it was very controversial when it came out at the time. But it covers like it covers a lot of dark subject matter. But on the surface, it seems like it's a slice of life series about a little happy alien named Takapi spreading happiness around the universe, and he lands on Earth, meets a girl named Shizuka who is being brutally bullied, and he commits the original sin he commits is he comes across her body because the bullying is really bad, and he finds her dead. Like
Whoa.
She hanged herself. She's dead. And
whoa, Mike. Whoa.
Is it my mic?
Apparently, yeah. Nerdigans, it's yours apparently. Could you just make sure that your laptop's plugged in nice and tight there? Might be the issue.
Yeah. Is that better?
No, now it's unplugged completely.
But at least we found the reason, the source.
Whoa, that's bad.
Norwegians, Leo.
It just clicked in there.
I see Leo down there.
Did it switch audio devices accidentally in the settings here on StreamYard? Is that what happened? Does it need to go back to your headset again?
That's probably why. Okay, is that better?
No,
For now,
we're on a different
it'll
mic,
work.
but yeah, it'll work. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
We can hear you. Actually, pretty. You're a bit louder. You're a little echoey because I think it's picking up like your laptop mic. But
It's
there's
okay.
no. There's not. You sound great.
Okay, let
We
me
got
just
it.
make sure. Okay, it's much better now because I went
You sound great.
because it was on the right. Okay, so basically so Takumi finds Shizuka dead, and this is like 6 days later. Like he's trying to cheer her up and everything, and it's obviously not working because the bullying is getting worse and worse. And Takumi commits the sin of by breaking the cardinal rule of using the happiness tools and tries to go back in time to cheer up Shizuka and prevent the tragedy from happening. And it gets worse and worse every time he does it. And yeah, the subject matter is really, really dark. Obviously, there's suicide, there's bullying, there's abuse, child abuse. There's murder in here. It's really, really dark. And the imagery is very disturbing. And I mean, for Christ's sake, in the first chapter, you literally see a child like hanging from the rafters of her house. It is very, very dark. But that's what people
Wasn't there another series you were covering, or you wrote a story about about another like bullying type series where it's like the main character gets bullied and then decides like I'm just gonna go all out and bully them back? Because it didn't have something to do with an alien, but it sounded really similar to this.
I'm trying to think if there was another series that
If you can remember it, I might just be mixing these two up and forgetting the alien part of Takopi.
Yeah, but Takopi's original sin is one. I'm trying to think of another series that involves. I know there's Maho Shoujo site that does that, but oh god, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But in terms of Takopi is just, it is brutal. Because the other thing about Takopi, and this is why another reason why I'm annoyed about it getting toned down, is because Takopi, you see, part of the thing that's great about it is you see the corruption of a very pure and innocent soul. Because remember, him coming here, he's ignorant of the world. And the further you go on to the story, you see him just like losing his purity and seeing like the evil of humanity. So to tone it down, like the painful moments of the series, that's really a shame.
Okay, it was this one. I was just wrong. I forgot about Tako, like the alien, but this is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, this was the one. But yeah, this it's really, really brutal. It is. But I'm gonna say this, as someone who's been in similar, not like as bad as this, but who has dealt with like childhood bullying and abuse and stuff like that. This series was very therapeutic for me to cover. And I know that I'm not the only one it resonated with. Yeah, it's extreme, but like if you've been a victim of something like this, you totally can resonate with the situation and like see and feel sympathy with Takopi, who's just like he's basically like a child, just like confused on what's going on and trying to comprehend it from the outside in. It's so good. And you've read it too, Spencer, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's
I mean that I think I've said it to our viewers before, and I say it on my show all the time. But like, if you're talking about a series, I'm probably starting it because you've literally never read me wrong, and you introduced me to Robobico, so that gets like all the credit with me in the world.
but yeah, this is a short series as well. It's not very long. And Tyson 5 did a fantastic job with this series, and it sold like so many copies in Japan. And he got and Tyson 5 got a Weekly Shonen Jump series out of it too, with oh my god, I can't remember the name of the series off the top of my head. And that series was crazy too, but it's not as good as Tako though. It's hard to top a series like Tako.
Speaking of crazy,
and by the way, I do have the trailer. I sent you the trailer for Tako too, so you can get an idea of what you're somewhat getting into, because the director, because the trailer only shows the lighter side of Tako, so you don't. It really does look like it's just
yeah, Old Boy doesn't show you what happens at the end of Old Boy.
But this is the trailer for it. But the animation looks really nice. I mean, look how beautiful the sky looks. It looks beautiful. Oh, you only showed the end of the trailer.
I can't play the sound because I guess it was the end of
You only showed the end of the trailer.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll play here.
But there's Shizuka meeting Tako. Tako is just so freaking cute. Like he's just a pure little happy alien. And Shizuka is she's just so depressed because she's getting bullied. And
this trailer does not. No way.
No, it doesn't. But something I did notice when I saw the trailer is on her bag, you do see the Japanese writing where it does say like whore, trash, scum. It is there.
That's on her bag in the series too.
Yeah. And then Marina, the girl with the blonde hair, she's the one that's beating the crap out of Shizuka. This is female bullying that's happening. So
which legitimately, guys, I'm gonna come out and say it. Way worse. I'm not. I don't even care.
Yeah, we girls I say we women hate each other. We do, and female and I'm a victim of female bullying, and especially at a young age like that, I'm definitely a victim of it. Was I constantly beat up like Shizuka? No, I wasn't like physically beat up like her, but I was emotionally bullied by them. So I understand where she's coming from. But man, like Shizuka has like the worst of the worst. It is just so sad, especially what happens to the dog too. Oh god, it just it pulls at your heartstrings. And then like when she gets to the point where she's murdering people, it's like, yeah, it's totally understandable.
No, yeah, it is a wild series. It is dark. It is not, no alien or no like alien fights, no Sentai transformations. It's dark. No. It's good. And as Bowsette pointed out, like this is a beautifully animated adaptation of it. But buckle up, like you're gonna need like a drink.
Yeah, you will. And like if you've seen the shit on Twitter in regards to Dandadan,
just all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be worse for Tako. Oh, it will, especially when they see the abuse.
Here's what you forget, though. Here's what you forget about this, and we see this all the time, right? I will make you a bet right now, Nerdigans. You and I can determine the terms, but I bet you it'll be less bad for Tako than it is for Dandadan, because Tako is not going to be one of the like mainstream popular ones that gets blasted everywhere. You know what I mean? Like Dandadan's the flavor of the month right now. And so all the normies and all the tourists go, oh, look, that's the big new thing. Let's go check that out. If you and if they're walking towards that destination and you're like, you come up to them and go, hey, would you like to watch you're interested in anime? How about this one about a girl who gets bullied and there's a little baby octopus? They will go, they'll try and act like there's some pretentious reason why they want to engage with it, but they just don't want to do it because it's not popular.
No, because it's all on the surface. It is because on the surface it's like, oh, because this is why people got into it in the first place. It's like, oh, it's a cute little slice of life series about like an alien, and then it's like no.
No,
That's what's gonna happen.
No, I get that. Like
is.
that'll happen. But what I mean is like Tako P is so, I don't want to say like specialized, but it's more niche, right? Like not everybody wants to go out and read a story about a girl who gets horrifically bullied. So all the tourists aren't going to pay attention to it because we got to go yell about Dandadan because it's popular. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen, is that we'll sort of get that dodge from it, where people who really care about anime will check it out, and people who only care about clout will stick with Dandadan. Unfortunately, because I do love Dandadan. It's just
I do too.
I don't like any of those people.
I mean, I covered Dandadan like right before it started its series, like started getting simulpubbed in on the Shonen Jump and Manga Plus app. Like I covered it like I think it was maybe 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks before it started getting officially simulpubbed.
Yeah.
And I said that I even told TV Reviews this at the time. I said, just watch. This is gonna be the next Jujutsu Kaisen. Mark my words. And I was right.
You were. No, you definitely were. But yeah, no, I'm hoping that the tourists don't catch wind of this one. Or if they do, they give it like a week of whining and then they're just gone.
What I'm hoping for, and what I'm hoping for Tako P is that it does have like a 1 hour premiere, kind of like Oshinoko, where we do get like the full thing, and then it ends when Shizuku commits suicide. Tako P walks in and sees her hanging from the rafters, and then commits the
that sounds like it's going to be like
I think that
stinger. Yeah,
that's what I think is going to happen.
Also, stop giving everything away.
But duh, it's like in the first chapter.
I know.
I know, but yeah, I think that's based on. Well, like if they're gonna do, because remember Oshinoko had that big shock value too in the first chapter, and that's what they did with the 1 hour premiere. I think that's what they're gonna do for Tako P to get
that's
that
what I think too, yeah.
Same shock factor. That's what a lot of fans want. Yeah, Attack on Titan has been done for a long time. The anime was finished more recently, but yeah, the manga's been done for a very long time.
But yeah, the anime took a while to go down because they were doing the like, here's part 3 finale, part 1, part 2 of part 3, part 1, and it's just like I my brother-in-law, he's a very big normie when it comes to this stuff, but he likes Attack on Titan, and he got to this like final season, and he's like, he like called me, he's like, can you just tell me when it's all over, and then I'll go watch it because I can't keep up with this. This is so dumb. And I was like, I got you, don't worry.
But yeah, I totally understand. It would have driven me nuts too. I mean, I'm being driven nuts by like Vinland Saga because it like we keep hearing like it's gonna end soon. It's gonna end soon. It's like just damn it, come on.
I can't think of another series that was milked that hard.
Oh, with Attack on Titan. I was gonna say maybe My Hero Academia in a way, but
well. That all kind of depends on this next final season, because we're at final season, but there's no like final season part one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I feel like the one I'm surprised is not being milked as hard is Demon Slayer. You would think that one would be milked to death because for Aniplex.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, a lot of people will probably find it surprising that Demon Slayer has been over for like a long time.
Yeah,
but they keep making the anime because it's not done yet. But I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, it's weird. There's no like video game or
there's video games for it.
Well, hold on. There are video games for it, but those are just like very simple, like tie-in ones, right? It's not like it's not like a One Piece Odyssey or a Dragon Ball Kakarot where it's like a big thing that you would be like, yo, get over here. It's more like your annual Call of Duty release for an anime fighter, right? Like we all get them. It's like, oh, here's Kill la Kill this year. Oh, an Ultimate Ninja Storm this year. Oh, the JoJo game this year. Some of them are good, some of them are great, but none of them are really anything to write home about. But they're not even doing that with Demon Slayer, which is weird because people loved it.
Well, it's not only that; it's Aniplex's biggest franchise. It's that and Fate. Those are the two biggest franchises that Aniplex has. And
wait, what in Fate? Demon Slayer, you said?
Yeah, those are the two main ones that they have, and they're not like like milking Demon Slayer for all it's worth. And
I was about to yell at you. I was like, you do not say they're not milking Fate. Nerdigans, I will run over there and slap you. That is
no Fate. They're milking. Fate, they're milking the fuck out of. Demon Slayer, they're not. But
that's why I was like, Nerdigans, I swear to God.
But something I wish they were doing for Demon Slayer is what they're doing for Dr. Stone, which they're doing 3 cores for the final season instead of like 3 movies. If they would have done 3 cores for Demon Slayer, they could have gotten everything done, and they could have added they could have done something a la like Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War, and added additional content that really needed to be in this final arc, because there was a lot of content like cut that that I was really hoping we were gonna get
from the current arc, or what? What's the one that they just, was it the castle?
This final arc. It was like near the end where it was like it was rushed to hell because I think it's because the mangaka had a rumor is that it was a family emergency, but I don't think we ever got the truth about that.
Well, that's what I was saying with the Frankie VA. Like we will very rarely, if ever, hear the exact like details of why a VA or somebody has to, if it says like there's been an emergency, there's been an illness, that's all you're getting out of Japan. They're not going into it.
Well, like at least for Bleach, we know at first it was like there was Bleach got axed, but then we found out that Kubo was having health issues.
Right, but you see, but to my point is like you go, Kubo's got health issues. Can we know him? How dare you? Like we are a private people.
But so that's why I'm really let down about Demon Slayer in that regard. At least Dr. Stone definitely needs the extra episodes too, because there was a lot of content that that could be made in there. There was a lot of content cut because they've sped it up. I don't know why they did that. It drove me nuts when I covered it at the time, but hopefully we get like more of the stuff prior to like the rocket being made and more stuff against Zeno. But I was just reading the comment about the writer for Attack on Titan being blackmailed. I was like, nah.
Well, that's what Pinochet's helicopter tour is here. He says the premise of Attack on Titan was to punish the elites, but it seems that the writer was blackmailed into being pro-state to avoid the fascist label.
No, it wasn't like that. It was even I remember reading an interview that the underlying theme was the Holocaust, essentially, where the Eldians were essentially the Jews, and then you were going up against the actual fascists in the final arc. That's what it really was, and people were certain SJWs were not accepting that, and they were pissed and offended about it. They were offended on behalf of my people about it. I actually talked to my mom about it, and she's like, she thought it was okay. She thought that was kind of cool. So it's just people being offended, and mostly tourists being offended for no fucking reason.
They find a way.
They always do.
I also like, as much as I know a lot of people love AOT, and I liked it for a little while. We also have to admit that like near the end, it kind of just goes off the rails, and I don't even think he knew what he was writing anymore. Like, that ending is so very out of left field in a bad way, like just kind of disconnected from everything that was
genocide.
Yeah, it like falls apart super hard near the. I genuinely couldn't tell you what he was even thinking of writing at that point.
It's like Lelouch went through all the trouble of becoming the leader of the world, only to like do one of the Dr. Evil nuke the core of the Earth and destroy the entire planet. It's like, what was the point, man?
We did it, Patrick. We saved the city.
Like it was the very end that was just like a huge what the fuck for me, because like the stuff Aaron was doing, I didn't mind it. That I totally understand, because he was like caught in the middle. He like understood like both sides were fucked up. This whole thing was messed up, and he just was destroying everything, because it's like the Eldians really had nothing. There was like no place. He had nothing to lose. So like Aaron's stuff, I totally understand. It was just like after the fact, where it was like the aftermath of everything, where I was like, okay, we getting some negotiations. Okay, that we're starting to move forward. Okay, but then after that, it was like, wait, what? That's it? We're just gonna see like the full destruction and everything.
Well, that's so Tony brings it up. Tony brings it up. He says, "Yeah, it seemed to me he was forced to dial it back as opposed to feeding the fans' desire to have Eren lay waste." I think Cider read that, but I think it's less. There's fan pressure for them to give the right kind of ending, and more. One, he lost the plot somewhere along the way, and two, remember, Eren isn't supposed to. Near the end, Eren's not supposed to be the guy we're on his side about. Remember, like that's the thing. It's like Eren's message is you can have a righteous cause, but also go about it in like the worst way, in a way that doesn't help anybody. So that's why we get like that weird ending scene with Eren. I'm not going to spoil it, even though I'm sure everybody already knows it. That's why everything does fall apart. That's why the elites stay in power, because Eren is supposed to be an example of like, this is a bad leader.
But also Isayama did say, and I can't remember which panel it was, but Isayama said that he tried to, he intended for Eren to be a villain. That's what he wanted. But the anime portrayed him as a hero, so he had to like kind of change it up because of that, because he wanted the fans to understand that Eren was supposed to be a villain.
I didn't get into Attack on Titan either, Bowsette. Don't worry. The whole gore aspect usually turns me off in anime. I'm one of those high trust, I like the good feely animes that remind you teamwork makes the world better stuff. I don't like watching people being like chomped in half by Aaron Hansen of the Game Grumps as he runs nakedly through a German village. It just immediately turned me off when I started seeing people being eaten. I was like, I don't need to know what this is about. I'm going. I'll see you later.
So I obviously I like the horror bent to things. So as soon as I saw that element of like weird giant looking people attacking, and so it was the combination of like weird giant naked people eating everybody, and then rigorous like military order, where I was like, this is something that could be really cool. And for the first I don't know if you call it arc, but let's say like the first story part, Nerdigans, up until you find out like the history of Eren and his dad, like when there's still that mystery, it's a really, really good series. Once you get to that point though, and you sort of like, that's where it went off the rails for me, mainly because it fell into that trope of you're all the super thing now, right? It was like, oh, Eren's a Titan, that's scary, oh my god. But then it's like, oh yeah, everybody's a Titan. That guy you just like bought an apple from at the market, he's a Titan. He's been a Titan for 30 years. Just didn't say anything. And I'm like, okay, this is getting really, really stupid now. So then by the end, I was like, I'm just here to close it out.
I like the fact that like the Eldians, they were Titans, but like all the Eldians were Titans, but there was a specific condition to activate, their dormant Titan, because they were, because the blood was diluted. Basically.
Like I get that, and that is less of what I'm talking about. It's more like all of Eren's like allies. Everybody else was like a battle Titan. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of in the same way where Dragon Ball devolved into like only Saiyans really having a part, and then everybody was a Super Saiyan. That's sort of what I felt about AOT. And I really, really don't like when a series goes, oh, everybody has that thing now. And it's like,
well, the Ackermans were still a little bit special. They had their own thing happening.
No, okay, they do have their own thing, and that's not what I'm against. I'm just against everybody having the ability to go Titan. Like the Eldians, that's fine. I actually like that plot point where it's super diluted, and I like when some of the Titans have different ways of activating. It's just, again, it's like, who saves us now? Do we call the one rare Titan that kicked us all off? Oh no, there's 40 of them. It's cool. It's kind of like where we're at in the MCU now, right? It's like, oh, do we call the Avengers the 8 heroes that are the biggest? And now it's like, well, we could call them, or we could call Moon Knight or Shang-Chi, and it's just like,
Oh, speaking of the Avengers, I love that the new RoboCo movie is going to be the RoboCo multiverse.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen anything about that. That's great.
They showed. That's what they showed at Jeff Festa. They showed the main Shonen RoboCo. They revealed her voice actress, and I was like, "Oh, we are getting the multiverse RoboCo adapted into the movie." And it's like, yes, the RoboCo cinematic universe is real.
That's great. I can't wait for that.
I'm so happy we're getting that, because that means we're going to see like all the Roboco variants. Oh, that's gonna be so epic. I love that arc. That arc is amazing. Oh my god, that manga is great. But anyways, I know that Jacob started his show already, and I got it before I go over there. I got to record Sosuno Fragrant because it's going to be on indefinite hiatus.
Sure. Well, this is all I want to do is I want to make sure everybody knows that we are going to be doing this tomorrow as well. So we'll save all the outros and conversation about that for tomorrow. And as well, we'll be covering the anime a little bit too. We get everybody together and settled in. We'll be watching a movies. We'll stay nice and comfortable. And if the evening carries on for our West Coasties, getting into the evening for them, if the evening carries on and you folks want to hang out, we'll play games too. Maybe you folks can join in with us. We'll find games maybe we can get you guys involved in as well. But until then, we're going to send you over to Jacob's show. So hang on here a minute to the outro. And we'll catch you tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard. And as always, Merry Christmas.